similar in the last 6 games. I think they've
Yeah.
both only drawn one game out of
But
5 or
Ange
6
has been resting everybody. Ange has
So-
been resting everybody, and maybe Amarin should have done that because once Spurs and Ange saw that they couldn't be relegated, it doesn't fucking matter. 13th place or 17th place doesn't fucking matter. All that matters is the cup.
Yeah. And why
Right?
does it matter? Why does it matter?
Because it's a trophy.
No, 80 million reasons. 80
Well,
million.
and money. Exactly. What's up, Gary? Sorry about that, man. I need a little help here.
Hello. No, I see every time I listen to David when I'm not here, he's going off on my team, my players. That's all he does, man. He's just going after them.
No,
man.
not at all, mate. Not at all. Arsenal have not won anything for 5 years.
We
continually
know.
choked.
We
continually choked, Gary. And what my point was is that Arsenal fans, on the whole, this week, I've been listening on the radio.
Yes.
It sticks in their throat. Spurs won a major European trophy.
Absolutely,
And
it hurts.
And they're eating lemons.
Oh, yeah, I'm not that fan. I'm not those fans. I hate it that we haven't won, but but I'm not like
humble.
I'm not whatever that is, because that's not my fault that they won. Right? I had nothing to do with them winning a trophy this year. We had nothing to do with that. They did that themselves, and you know what? They're doing what everybody else does. They play to win They play to win the next game, and guess what? If you win enough of them, at the end of the day, you get to put your arms up. We don't play like that. You know, as a team, like if you look at the way we play, we don't play like, you know what, this might be the win that gets us across the line. So yeah.
And I'm sorry, BX.
You didn't rest your starters in the Premier League for the Champions League?
We did.
You did exactly what Gary said you don't do.
We did. Once we saw the league was out of our hands, like it would have taken a fucking miracle to win the league. We started focusing just on that one competition, and we still didn't get over the line.
Yeah. Well, he didn't rest.
And you may say that's Arteta's fault.
He played a lot of his starters in those games, and we still struggled. And I think that's a mentality thing more than I'll rest them.
Sure.
I'll rest them so that they can come into the cup matches and play better. They didn't play better, especially going into the PSG game. They didn't play good in the game before. Didn't play good in the game between the two legs. And for me, that's more mentality and preparation than it is. Guess what?
I think it's also the quality. Equality. You're missing 3 players that would make a difference at that level.
Yeah,
at that level.
Well, let me ask you this.
I wish that were true about losing to Man United in the cup match, right? I mean, I don't think we're going to beat Newcastle the way we played this year in those games, but that Manchester United match that we lost, in the FA Cup. No, I think.
That was horrible.
That had nothing to do with the fact that we didn't have players. That had nothing to do with that at all. For me, that was the preparation mindset and everything else that goes into a match. Like I talk about it all the time. The WTT, don't waste a trip. You're there. Why don't you just try to win the damn thing? Worst case scenario, you don't. But I felt like we didn't give ourselves opportunities to win some of these games the way that we were either managed, coached, or whatever you want. Like there was something that we just didn't do, right? And a lot of it was on us as a team, right? So that's.
But Gary, I put that all on recruitment, and if Arteta was involved in our horrible recruitment, then it's on him as well. But with what we had and the injuries that we had, the performances that we put in, to me, the players didn't put the ball in the back of the net. They had opportunities in both PSG games. They didn't put the ball in the back of the net. And Arteta's making do with having to put players in different weird situations. Partey yellow card, being suspended, things like that, where we're making do, and we still had the opportunities, and our players couldn't put it in the back of the net. Why? Because we don't have sufficient backup. We want to call ourselves one of the best teams in Europe, but the best teams in Europe have 2 full squads. Their squad on the bench is as good as their squad that starts. And we don't have that. So I put that on our recruitment. And look, if Arteta was the one saying, if we can't sign this striker, then sign nobody, then that's on him. But from everything that we've read and everything that's been said, Arteta was saying, we know what we need. We know what we need. And we just didn't get it.
Mm.
And then it came back to hurt us. I mean, when
it's not that easy, is it? I mean, they wanted Isak, but there's no way Newcastle were going to let him go. So
come up with something else.
But you can't. If the quality's not there to go and get halfway through the season, it's not there.
Yeah, but PSG picked up players that are helping them right now. We could have picked up those same players. Karachak or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Right, he was available. I don't even know if we even looked at Kvaratskhelia. I don't think we even looked at him.
He's one that had like a pre-sign thing before he even left Napoli. He was only going to PSG.
Yeah.
But a £100 million offer. He is a £100 million player. Very much.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't feel like we gave ourselves some opportunities, and either that's with like the recruitment or in my eyes, I believe that if you need a goal, maybe you give the youngster a try.
Yeah.
Maybe you let Nweri.
Yeah.
Maybe you let him.
Yeah.
See if he can do anything. Because every time he came in for 5 to 10 minutes, he definitely showed us something. Maybe you give him 20 minutes or 15 minutes or something different than what we were doing, which was go in there and try and do something. Or here's some, sympathy minutes. And he actually showed that he could provide for us. So I felt like sometimes we didn't even give ourselves a chance, and that's because we didn't put the players on the pitch that might help us. We need a goal, so what do? We switch in and out our fullbacks. Who does that?
Yeah.
But then what you're saying there, Gary, is bad tactical on-field decisions made by the manager.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yep. And that's what.
And I agree with you there. In the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes, Odegaard needed to come off and Nwaneri needed to come on. Give the boy a shot. That dude shoots from anywhere, and we were lacking a goal. He shoots if there's a quarter of a chance that he might get a shot off, he shoots. But sorry, big up Tony, we've got another European champion in the house. If we're just doling out these fucking titles to these tin pot trophies.
Oh boy!
No, you know what?
Salty.
All those
the Wambulance.
Hold on.
Salt and bitter lemon.
Salty.
Yeah. I don't think that way, because I think if the Conference League is a thing, all right, then any of the trophies that Arsenal won in the European environment counts as well, right? Because they're new today or they're gone from yesterday, but they still count the same, all right? It's still a European tournament that you go out there and you win, regardless of how it's set up. So I kind of feel like that's just people going after Arsenal because you know what, we don't want to count that anymore because guess what, it doesn't exist today, but it does. It did. There's a trophy that goes associated with it.
Is that better for you, Lolo, in the background?
Look at that! Wow,
Is that better for
Tony,
you?
he's just rubbing it in. Oh man,
Gary, as if I would do that. As if I would do that.
You probably have another one. It's not
Tony,
like
can you make that bigger?
I-
Can you make it bigger?
Oh,
I don't upset Lolo. I like the man. I don't upset him too much.
I love the man, and
Unfortunately,
It's all love, Lolo. It's all love, as they say.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I would like to say they hate us because they ain't us, but you winning trophies. We hate you because we ain't you.
Oh, fucking shit.
Finally brought some class to this.
You know what? Now the show's
Fellas,
done.
How you doing, my
The
friend?
show
Come
is
on,
done
you're
now.
on.
Why are you
There
bring
we
this guy
go.
on with his
I'm just glad that you guys decided to bring a class act like Tone on this show.
So why don't you? That means you have to go then, because we can't have you and him on the same.
No,
You kind of wipe each other out right there.
No. Be nice, Gary.
It's always a pleasure speaking to you, Gary. You know that. It's always a pleasure.
No, cool. No. I'm going after Lauren. Tony, you're good. You're good.
I just have to ask Lolo.
Not shocking. Not shocking.
I just have to ask Lolo though: is that actually rain, or is that kind of tears of discontentment? It's a pleasure being back on the show. I have to say, gents.
I was happy when I saw you on there.
Here he goes, singing in the rain.
Sorry, my third floor neighbor is also an Arsenal fan, so the tears are just flying down right now. Oh my God!
I don't think that's rain. I don't think that's rain, Lolo.
All right,
Someone's telling me something else. I don't know.
The bathroom's backed up there in that level.
Okay, listen. As much as I'm defending my club and hating on Tottenham and all this, let me just say I'm here for the banter and I love it. I do love it. This hurt and emotional distress that I'm in over this is why I watch football. The hatred of Tottenham and Manchester United made me hate watch that fucking match, knowing that I was not going to be happy with any outcome. And you guys talking shit and West Ham fans talking shit with your trophy.
I think
it's beautiful, and I'll take it, and I'll eat it, and I'll own it. I will continue to bitch about it. I just need you to know that I love it, and I'm here for it. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. It'll all mean so much more when we finally win something before I die, hopefully.
Well, I think David will
that was a buzzkill. Good night.
I feel bad. I can't pick on the guy now.
And it's
I
tumbleweed.
can't pick on. I feel bad for the guy. I need to buy him a cheeseburger or something. I feel bad for him.
Sodom.
Yeah, but Lawrence, make sure you hold back on the pickles, yeah, because you don't want to be too sour. Yeah, we have to hold back on the pickles.
There you go.
Yeah, emotional damage. Absolutely.
I would have. Yeah. I hated both teams. Tone, I want your opinion. I would have preferred Man U over the fucking Spuds. Sorry, Spuds any day. Spuds, no way.
Leeds Starlet. Spurs, great team.
And see, that's why I hate David
gave
so
us
much.
Solomon this year. Gave us Solomon this year and got us back to the promised land. Wonderful team, Spurs.
They're also the team that sold the dodgy pitch.
David, you got to take that back. I'm sorry. Take that. No, seriously, take that back.
What back?
Everything you just said.
No, sorry. Wonderful stadium.
Take it back.
Best stadium in the world.
Yeah, it looks just like a toilet bowl. And if you're into
Tottenham also sold you that dodgy pitch.
And
you got relegated.
Did we get relegated with the dodgy pitch? I thought that was
it was
before that.
It.
Yeah, I think that was before, wasn't it? We had the dodgy pitch, didn't we?
Yeah. I think it was definitely before.
I thought that was Bielsa days. First season, maybe. I don't know.
The first season that you
bygones
guys
be bygones. He lent us Solomon at 60 grand a week.
Oh my God, this guy.
You guys gonna re-sign him?
It takes 2 seconds to piss me
well,
off.
hopefully so. Maybe he'll give us a little bit of a discount, in which case they'll go even further up in my estimation.
I would say earlier on, David.
Low, completely.
I was going to say, David, you were speaking sense earlier on, but
that's the look from right the windows closed, right?
The window is closed. Hey, Mark, I'm coming right down.
What? I can't hear you.
Oh, the window is closed.
Oh man. God.
Don't worry, Lola. There's always next season, son.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's that whole.
No,
that
and that's. I have to hear from Najee just about every other week. It's like, oh, Arsenal is Netflix again. Are you still watching? Next season starts in one episode. Oh my God. No, I mean, we just have to sit there in it and own it. But let me ask you guys, would you guys be happy with 17th place and a trophy?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No,
Yes,
actually, I'm wrong.
absolutely.
You're right. No, what I would. No, I say it wrong.
Yeah.
I agree. I would.
What is the difference between what Tottenham did and what Arsenal did this season?
No, I got you.
So,
I think I would take
you both have qualified for Champions League,
but they got a trophy.
so it doesn't matter where you are on the standings. Doesn't matter how many points you won.
You are talking nonsense. You were talking nonsense. You're telling us you'd rather sit through 30 to 35 games of what you saw from that team because you get a trophy at the end of it.
No,
that's what you're saying.
Tottenham. No, what I'm saying is that Tottenham, regardless of where they finished in the standings, achieved exactly what Arsenal did.
You can say it at the end of the day.
League.
Going into the season, if I said, "Here you go, you guys will have the worst league performance that you've ever seen. You will lose 20 plus games that season, but you get a trophy." You're gonna say, "Yep, I'll take that."
No.
No, that's exactly what happened.
No.
That's the only way.
What I'm saying is you can, if you phrase that by saying you're going to lose 20 games but qualify for the Champions League, would you take it? Absolutely. Absolutely, you will take it.
Yeah.
So my question to you guys is:
so what I'm saying is regardless if you finish second or Tottenham finished 17th, it doesn't matter because they qualified for the same thing.
Hold on, Mark.
Okay, Mark. As you don't get relegated, it doesn't matter. You've won a trophy.
Exactly.
Oh,
and you've qualified. And you've qualified for the big money.
I can tell you that, but that was the question I always had. Would you prefer? That's a good point there, David. Would you take a trophy and get relegated, or would you want to stay in the Prem and get a trophy? That's a very hard question. We debated that going through our process.
But that comes down to finances then. That's what
it does,
comes down
bro.
to finances.
But as a fan, I want to stay up in the Prem. And how much I loved our trophy, and we have one, and I know Arsenal does. I'm sorry, Lolo. But the thing was,
we've never been in that competition. We've never been in that fucking competition.
True. In the
That's why we don't have that trophy.
But don't forget with that as well. We finished 14th that season that we won that. Plus the fact in that competition, we was undefeated in that competition all the way through.
You guys were brilliant in that competition. You were brilliant in that competition.
Tony, the brilliantest comment I've heard all day. You're totally correct. That was right. We were undefeated.
Oh, because it came from the fucking West Ham fan?
No, that's he's a very smart individual. That's all I'm saying.
He could tell you he pissed on your he could tell you he pissed on your toast and you'd be like, "Oh,
let's not get nasty. Let's not get nasty. Let's not get nasty."
He's not that smart. He supports West Ham. No,
Lolo. What me and Lawrence do with our own fetishes, and that is our own thing. And we told us not making that public. We keep telling you this.
More toast. More toast.
It's already out there. It's already out there, Tony.
I know, David.
But Mark, it's saying that we accomplished the same thing is fucking
same objectives, which is to qualify.
No.
Champions League. That's what I'm saying. It's the same
because objective wise, we failed. We didn't hit our objectives.
Yeah. Okay.
We hit our worst case scenario, which is just qualify for Champions League. So here's the difference.
But that's the first objective. That will be the first objective that they have at the beginning of the season.
That was Spurs' top objective.
What was the first objective of the season? To win the Prem, I thought. Right?
No.
Not first objective, like bare minimum. Bare minimum.
First objective will be qualify to Europe.
Bare minimum. But the difference here, Mark, is saying
gotcha, that's true.
We're both in college. I studied the whole time and learned a bunch of shit, and I go do my final and I pass my final. You don't go to a single fucking class. You don't learn fuck all. and then you go take the test, and you ace the test for some reason. Now, good, you got a better grade on that test than I did, and now we're at next year when we're building upon that, and yet I'm in a better place, ready to continue my learning. That's where I feel the 17th and a trophy is very different.
I don't necessarily agree with that, because that negates what Spurs might do in the offseason.
It's more guaranteed that Arsenal will be in the same spot next year than that team will be in the same situation.
You're both talking at the same time.
Sorry, my bad.
Thank you. I don't think that it is as simple.
I was hoping Gary would take over. But...
I was going to, but then your friend, but your buddy with Mark. I better step back.
I'll tell you what, Gary. I will relinquish the floor to the Arsenal.
I didn't want to get in trouble with the host.
Why yet again they are the bridesmaid and not the bride. And justify the fact that they had a more successful season than Tottenham. Go right ahead, because you didn't win anything. You qualified.
Mark, guys, that's letting somebody else speak.
And Tottenham,
you're not letting them speak.
Exactly, John.
I mean, Mark, ask yourself that fucking question. Like, are you honestly saying that you would rather be in Spurs position going into next season?
No,
he's not.
Is anybody fucking saying that?
No.
Is anybody saying that?
All I'm saying is
I'm trying to hear all you're saying.
Different path, same destination.
Yeah, but it's
not. But it's not, Mark.
But then tomorrow it comes and you're like,
what did you achieve this season?
Progress.
How is
Mark,
second place 3 years in a row progress?
If you don't win the league,
can I talk? Let me talk. There is progress, because we finished. We not only did we finish second in a year where anybody.
I'm listening. I'll be right back.
Anybody could have had second this year because it was up for grabs, but we finished there anyways, right? But only that. But then we did play in 2 semifinals, right? Compared to last year and this year, there is improvement in the squad. Long term, we're better suited to go into the Champions League more than that team.
Turn off your microphone.
What?
Turn off your microphone.
What?
Lolo,
What?
turn off your microphone.
Oh,
you're
is he?
Yes. You're pissing your season away.
I thought he was pouring a drink.
I was like,
I'm pouring a cocktail.
No, I don't. Nobody wants that drink.
I'm pouring a cocktail inside.
Anybody, if that just doesn't sound right at all.
This is not the first time Lolo's done this as well. Yes.
No,
I've been guilty as charged before myself.
If there's anybody out there, do not take his drink. He's going to offer it to you. Do not take it. Do not take it, please.
Do not take it.
If it's that bottle underneath the cab seat in there, yes, definitely don't take that bottle. Definitely do not take that bottle.
Can I just say
that
something?
is not Mountain Dew.
One thing you've got to look at,
David, go ahead.
One thing you've got to look at is start where both teams started this year.
Look at that.
And Arsenal had a far better starting position than Spurs did.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
well, Spurs was never.
Spurs is very much a team, a rebuilding thing. You know, I mean, they've had Gray playing the whole season.
But David, I have a question for you on that. Do you think Ange should have another year? You think it's more the players than Ange and his philosophy, or is it the players or lack thereof? What do you think?
I think he definitely should be there next year.
I agree.
And I think Spurs need to spend more money on better quality players, and they need to hope that they don't have the horrendous injuries that they had at the beginning of this season, because without a doubt, I've never known a Premier side have the injuries that they've had this year. Never known another club have the same extent of injuries that they had.
I kind of disagree a bit there. We've all had some heavy injuries before. Give me some prime
examples. We all have injuries, but not like they have.
Give me some prime examples of some injuries that
Spurs
stopped
lost
them.
their entire back line and
Yeah,
goalie
exactly.
injury for like 3 months.
They had
Arsenal would not have survived that either.
playing centre half.
But if you're a team
for the
that you
first
think
half
you're
of the season,
if you think you're the Spuds and you're a champion team, you wouldn't be dropping to 17th. You'd have a deep bench if you're going to spend the money.
no, if they're all injured, they haven't got the depth. That's the whole point. It's the same as if West Ham. If West Ham lost their back line,
West Ham doesn't have the financial backing. So if we don't have it, we won't have the depth. We know that. We already realize that. Our things that me and Tony talked about, we need to rely more on our academy players because we will not pay the money. We'll have.
But Spurs are a team in transition.
I got you, bud.
I'd like to ask Lawrence, how much did you pay for Furpong? That's spending money.
For who?
You paid money for him. It just didn't work out because he got injured.
Furkrug? The German?
Furkrug. Sorry, not Furpong.
That's okay.
Furkrug.
I didn't understand.
I was like, when did they get Frimpong?
Okay.
When did they get Frimpong? Jesus Christ.
Y'all know what I meant.
No,
we didn't. I don't think anybody did.
Everything that comes out of that mouth, nobody knows what it is. All right,
nobody. I'll tell you what.
And know what? It's a
Arsenal bullshit.
That's a quasi
justifying being a loser.
It's a quasi
driving Lola to smoke.
And I'm going to give you a half credit for that one because you're right. He got hurt quick into it, and it was he was playing for Germany for that. But then he never really proved himself. And Tony provides that he's been a seesaw, and we like him. I loved his passion. A couple of interviews because he wanted to wake up the team and say, "You know what? Screw you guys. You got to play for passion." But he's never totally materialized. And for West Ham, that I don't want to speak for Tony. Is that our problem is we have not finished. We don't have enough pace in the end to finish off on that stuff. So Fulkrug is still, to me, is somebody that I still would say, you know what? I still try to want to see what he can figure out. If you can get the right pieces around and you get a little more pace, I don't know. I'm not going to discard him yet. So I don't think he's a total loss. I think injuries did affect it, but it's not different than some other ones, though.
I'm going to be really mean here, and I'm going to just bring up one other point.
Shocker.
No, nothing to do with West Ham. You've got enough problems. Arsenal.
Oh no.
Where's the progress been?
Mm-hmm.
You tell me where the progress has been, because they were finished second last year, but they finished second with about 16, 18 points more. They've regressed.
But you're just talking about one aspect
of
football,
David.
But you're only just talking about the Premier League. You're not looking at we just went. That team won a cup match, and we're saying there's progress in the cups that we played in. Right? Is semifinals in the Champions League and semifinals in a League Cup? Is that not progress compared to what we did last year?
Okay, I'll take the Champions League.
If we're going to talk about, but it's progress regardless, because if we won it, that's progress from not winning it, right?
No, but you didn't win it. You didn't get to the final.
No, the question. No, you said
forget the League
progress
Cup.
is doing better than what you did.
But you fans, right? Your progress.
Just forget the League Cup.
You didn't get another year. You didn't get one.
The League Cup. The League Cup. You play your second teams.
Nobody does that. I mean, I wish that were true, but I don't think so. Teams aren't just winning it with their backups. They're not. I mean, as much as you say that, I don't think they are.
I don't think it's progress.
But David, to chime in on your question, I just listened to you throw a pity party for Tottenham's injuries and explain why they are where they are.
Saka was a major injury for you.
Now, look at Arsenal's injuries.
Yep, I agree.
And yes, I blame this on recruiting because we are a club that should be able to have backups for that. But when literally our front line goes down, the backups go down, and we're having to make shit up. And we're having to play the end of the season, the Champions League quarterfinals, the Champions League semifinals with our backup center back, with our makeshift striker who is a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
Can we not give Arteta and Arsenal a little bit of praise?
No,
for
because
not completely bottling everything?
No, because they've been at a top level for so much longer.
with our team,
consistently.
with our team,
Consistently.
and
Consistently.
we were that
So
way
if it's
with
down
our
to the
team.
recruitment and the players, I mean, earlier on, Gary saying about, the Arsenal players not quite having, if you like, the desire. Well, that's all part and parcel of it. Unfortunately, in the Champions League, Arsenal turned up in the wrong games. They turned up in the games against Madrid where they were superb. But when it really came to the crunch, they didn't turn up.
Yep.
Now, whether that's down to the manager or the players or a combination of both.
And you look at those games. Once again, we're already hurting with injuries, and then we lose probably our best midfielder all season. One of them, Thomas Partey, who had a fantastic season, and he's out that game. Well, now who do we put? Well, our fucking striker has to go fill that role. And we couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And then, we get them back for our full fit squad was still playing with our defensive midfielder as a striker.
But you're talking about one or two players. Spurs had the whole of their back line out.
And the whole of their back line is shit.
That's why they are where they are. And they lost, one of the best
they are where they are.
No.
They are where they are.
They lost one of the best goal scorers in modern football over to Bayern Munich.
That was the year
and
before.
They signed
one
one
this year.
Yeah, he was out the year before, but they've never replaced him.
And they signed one. They have Richarlison, Solanke, Brennan Johnson, Kulishevsky, Son.
Because some good
What are you
players.
talking about?
Injured for that match.
If we had Dom Solanke instead of fucking
He's
Miguel
not
Moreno,
produced.
you don't think we get...
Yeah, Solanke hasn't produced.
I agree with that.
Son's been
injured.
injured. Son's off form. You can't say
Son
Son.
would go to the Spuds and do well. And
Son is not the player that he
I agree
was.
with that, David.
No, exactly.
So here's the difference, David. They had a ton of injuries.
Yeah.
And Ange didn't shift. Ange did not make a shift and continued to play the way that he was playing with those players. And he fucked that up. So give Arteta a little bit of fucking credit.
Why?
Because he made adjustments and found a way to keep us from dropping down to 6th place. So at this point, 2nd place was an accomplishment because we were fucking it up.
But you've got better players.
Lolo, what you're saying is Arteta was more thinking, right now we're not going to win the Prem, so my goal is to stay in the championship in the top 3.
The goal was to not lose 2nd and to go to the finals of the Champions League, and it didn't happen. We didn't put the ball in the back of the net.
So on that argument then there, Lolo, if you think about, like Zanzi's put all about all your players that have been injured, but if you look at it in that case then, if Newcastle didn't have the injuries they did, they would have been 2nd.
Good shout.
Possibly,
Possibly they would have been 2nd, guaranteed.
The one game that Isak didn't play, we beat them.
Exactly,
they beat us 3 other times this season. So yeah, you're probably right. And maybe it's because Eddie Howe didn't make that adjustment.
He was ill at the time.
So as much as you guys want to harp on Arteta not making the right decisions, let's also say we could have been a lot worse this season. We probably should have been a lot worse this season.
Yeah. But Lolo, it's just not us talking about it. There's a lot of Arsenal fans that are like down Arteta. Like he's not bringing it to them. He's not.
Those are the loud ones. Those are the loud ones.
Lolo sounds like a 1930s radio commentator.
Lawrence, I don't know if you know, but our club is a very old club, and we have the majority of our actual supporters are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and they're not on YouTube. They're not on YouTube doing fucking things. It's the younger guys who are out here that just want the Chelsea switch the manager, just win something now. When yes, that's good, However, I want to be proud of my club on a yearly basis, on a daily basis.
Okay. Can I just make something clear? I'm not putting Arteta down. What I'm saying is he hasn't achieved what he should have done.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That is
For the
different.
for the expectations of Arsenal, and that's it. For the expectations of the fans, he's not performed to the level that you guys wanted, and that's
now
true.
okay. So
Yeah,
let me ask
that's a
you.
fair comment.
Let me ask you. Year one, Arteta coming in, a manager with no managerial experience, coming in year one to a major club.
Yeah.
What were the expectations?
You tell
me. Were the expectations for him to win the league, to win the Champions League, to make us competitive? What were the expectations? The only reason we're having this conversation is because of that season where we weren't supposed to do anything, and then we challenged for the league. We didn't get it, and we were first place for 200 days or whatever, and then we bottle it. So the expectations of Arteta hasn't done what he was brought in to do. I mean, when he was brought in, it was like just another fucking holding manager. It was another holding manager until we can sort of right the ship a little bit.
Didn't they win the FA Cup under Arteta?
He won it that first season.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was, as Mark says, it wasn't his team, and it was a bomb.
The one thing he did in that half season was he played to the strengths of the players that he had. All right. With the ultimate goal afterwards is to start to build his own squad and play the way he wanted, right? So he did and for me, after that half season, I thought we would come in the next season and still take what we have and utilize it to the best of its abilities, right? You don't have the defense you want, you don't have the attackers you want. How about you maintain that same mentality until you get all the players? You can't he's got a plan. Like I said, it's written in pen. It's written in pen, right? And it doesn't change. Like, you know what? We're going to lose Saka. We're still going to play the same way. We're going to lose Saliba. We're still going to play the same way. We're going to lose Gabriel. We're still going to play the same way. You can't do that. You have to adjust to the players and the skill set that you have. He's still, like when he came in, I said I didn't want him because it's going to take him a while to figure this thing out, right? Like most managers that we all compare him to, they're sitting at 10 to 20 years of experience, right? They know how to get the best out of their team. He's not there yet, And so for me, we're behind the 8 ball there, and the team isn't supplying him what I don't believe they're supplying him what he needs. Either the top
club.
Players, or the club, either the top players or the top assistants or whatever it is. Like this is if you look at a player you bring in, a young player you bring in, right? You think he's going to be able to, like Saka, should he be able to compete with Salah? Nobody believes that, right? Even now, the way he's playing, he's still not going to be at a Salah level, right? They play on the same side of the pitch. You can tell the difference between one and the other, right? Everybody's like, who's the second best player in that position on the pitch? And it's like Saka. But is he anywhere near Salah? No, because he doesn't have the years of experience. So for me,
what was that?
What's going on?
There's a cue ball. The thing on that, Gary, when you for a club of
I'll be right back. I have to take a spuds. I mean,
you know what? You don't have to announce that. No, you don't have to.
Everything offends Gary. Look, there's two things, that have been said on this show. One was many weeks ago, and it was about Arteta and Arteta. I'm not really sure who it was. I think it was Anthony. That was on the show, and Anthony, I know you're out there and you're listening, so maybe you can back me up on this. But you had said, and I firmly believe this, is that Arteta has a solid game plan, but when things go wrong and things go sideways, he is unable to adjust and have an idea of how to overcome the adversity.
I just said that.
I was
repeating what I said.
Fair enough, but that's been stuck in my head.
Different words.
That's been stuck in my head.
It's the same thing. Plagiarism.
That guy went to chat Gary
with the rest of them
and put a question and got my answer and used it again.
I think also. Okay, fine. Here's an original thought. Damn it. Lolo just not so long ago, maybe like 10, 20 minutes ago, had said, it's like, why doesn't Arsenal get the respect that that they deserve? Why doesn't Arteta get the respect that he deserves? And I think it comes down to this, and I think it's
going to give
because
David
of
a
the, I
5, and
think
you
it's
just moved me.
I think it's because of the Arsenal fans, and the Arsenal fans always have an excuse. For the last 3 years, the excuse has been injuries. The last 3 years, it's been an excuse of this. We didn't recruit. We didn't do that. We didn't do this. You know what I would love and put me in the camp that would give Arsenal respect is we lost because we weren't good enough. And guess what? Against PSG, you weren't good enough. In this league this year, you weren't good enough. You have the depth. You have a small squad, yes. And that's the question.
Is that what we're supposed to say every time? Every time we're supposed to say that, right? That's the answer you want to hear every time. So
I would love to hear an Arsenal fan, we lost because we weren't good enough. And I've never heard that.
You're out of your mind, Mark, because I said that earlier.
The bald guy, he's
Mark,
always got an excuse for something.
I said that earlier. I said when Gary came on, and I said we were not good enough, and we lost that match. We were not good enough. But to blame it all on Arteta is what pisses me off.
Blaming it on Arteta.
No. I know you're not. But the conversation is always Arteta is not good enough. Look at what they did in the and I'm like, guys, to be honest, we had plenty of opportunities against PSG.
But Lolo, let me say something.
We just didn't put it in the back of the net.
But let me say
something. Is that Arteta? No, that's us not being good enough.
And that's the same as Amarin. For Scum the other night against the Studs.
And my whole thing about
they should have won that game, but they didn't.
In Mark's defense, he only plagiarizes things that are important.
but like the reason I keep harping on how shitty that game was is because even the goal that happened was the shittiest, weirdest little like bing, 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 bing. Okay, it goes in somehow. Cool. Does that make Tottenham any better than Manchester United? No.
Yeah, they scored a goal. It does because they scored a goal.
Yeah. I mean, you have to give it to them. But I mean, it's not like they were incredible all game and they fucking destroyed Man United. Man United could have tied it up at any point.
But for me, that was luck, right? That was luck. The way that ball bounced, right? The ball bounced in their way. It's luck. There's luck in every season. Any player, any team that wins, there's always a little bit of luck that you get. Ball falls your way, the ball bounces your way.
Exactly.
And if the ball doesn't bounce your way in the right games, guess what? You don't win those 1-0 games like that. It goes to extra time, and then maybe somebody really makes a mistake, and then you go right. So.
I can tell you this now, Gary. All Man United fans will say if Luke Shaw wasn't playing, that goal wasn't going to be scored because it bounced off his chest, and that's how Johnson.
It could have been no other player would have been in that same position, right?
End of. That's it, basically. Just to summarise, going back on the argument you guys are doing there
for their last win.
Let Tone talk.
Going back on the argument, what you're saying here. Let's go back to when you had George Graham. After George Graham, in came Wenger, and also Wenger got some success because basically he was going off of George Graham's team. Once he started losing them players, apart from a couple of competitions he won, it deteriorated from that point onwards. He then went, in comes Arteta, and also, for a club of the stature of Arsenal, was that the right decision to bring in an unknown?
I
said that already.
Crazy.
You guys are repeating. Everybody's using chat, Gary.
I've not finished it, Gary. I've not finished it. There's a point to all this.
There's a point. Gary. Stop talking.
So when you look at the fact of Arteta coming in, he then kind of won the FA Cup plus 2 trophies. Them other 2 trophies as well, as he said, and with the Emery team. And again, as it filtered down, he's brought some good players in, and he's got to a certain point. But this is where it's going to kind of, close your ears now, Arsenal people. In certain respects, what has happened here is what we saw with Pochettino at Spurs. He got them to a certain point, and then he plateaued out. And that's what we're seeing with Arteta.
Maybe
He has got to that point, and he cannot get above that. We already know. Mark's already said it. In certain games, when it goes south, he has no plan B, no plan C, and no plan Z.
I said that.
Gary
Oh,
said
Jesus,
that, but then Anthony said that before.
Have you got trademark and copyright on them comments, Gary? That's what I'm saying, yeah? It can't be freely used. Have you heard of that thing? Freedom of speech. We are in the UK. We still have freedom of speech. I don't know what it's like with Trump now in the US.
Whoa. Why'd you have to bring up that name? Come
Thanks,
on,
brother.
man.
Now we're going to get
You
arrested.
started this, Gary. It was going so well until that point. I'm joking. But
can I just interject there a little bit, Tony?
Yes, mate. Of course you can. See, that's the thing, David. At least we have this understanding. We can do this.
In defense of my
Good
friend
comment,
Arsene
Tony.
Wenger,
Good job.
he wasn't given the funds. They were rebuilding the stadium. They never went into debt. Blah 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 blah. So he did really well with what he had at the time.
Yeah.
And had they not been moving stadiums and he had the money, I would imagine that he probably would have won a few more things. That's all I'm saying on that.
And you know what? And his experience, what? 20,
Thank you, David.
20 plus years of experience at that point, when they're like handcuffing him and he's still able to accomplish things, is what we're trying to expect Arteta to do. He can't do that. He doesn't have the know-how. Not right now. There's not too many managers in their first 6 years take over a big club like an Arsenal and have the success that we're asking him to do. Right?
Yeah.
The only coach that's done that is Pep, and he just happened to have a Messi sitting there ready to go when he got there. You know, like nobody else has done it. It's not that easy, right? And that's why I start this off with I didn't want him, because we're not going to be able to get there until he's there. You know, even you give him the tools, he's still not using them right sometimes, right?
Also,
so
he had to clear the decks.
Yeah.
He had to clear the decks.
You're asking a young manager to do that, right? A young manager
and people like that.
Yeah, a young manager can't do that. He can't handle an Aubameyang, right? That's why he had to let him go. He can't handle a Guendouzi. That's why that player is gone as well. Like he can't handle those players that are going to pretty much say no to you with their actions.
No, but that's how you handle them.
Yeah,
because he's the manager.
But don't forget, though, on that, David, that you got to think. This is the thing, though. You're saying that, but he was a coach.
Yeah.
So a coach coaches players.
Yeah.
And really, he should have the best. He should have the best opportunity to get the best out of those players. The manager manages the team. The coach is what actually kind of does the actual movement and
but
else.
You don't have that now. It's a blurring of lines, isn't it? Because the manager used to go and do the recruitment and buy the players, and that doesn't happen nowadays.
It's changed. It has changed.
Well, only the rare
changed.
exception. Rare exception it does.
It is changed, and he did the right thing. He persisted with the Boomerang for a while, and then it was a case of nah.
But now you guys got to realize that.
And what did the Boomerang do when he went on elsewhere? He didn't do anything. So, he was.
I didn't like that. I didn't like the re-sign and how they handled it afterwards, because it was almost like we're going to keep our best player, but we're not going to actually help him out. He needed some help and we didn't get it, and then he became basically obsolete with the way that we were going to play. I mean, it's the same thing happened with Ozil, right? Ozil was there. Good player, had a certain skill set, but guess what? That skill set didn't match what Arteta wanted. Eventually, he was kind of walked out the door as well.
Hey guys, I want you guys to hold on. We got
we got another trophy winner.
Oh no! Look all this. You know what? I'm gonna say this now. I hate this show. There's only 2 people on this show with trophies, and the rest of you guys are like joining in like you won something. What is that all about?
Can we get Tony?
What is that all about? No, he doesn't even care that he won the trophy. Look at him. He doesn't care. Right? Tell him.
Oh, he should
Tell
care.
him, Dirty. Tell him, Dirty Chris. Right? You don't care.
What's up, Chris? Welcome to the stoop.
Stoop hanging like a.
I'm happy.
Very good to see you, Chris.
I'm happy to win a trophy because I don't think I think the league is going to be a lot more competitive next year. So,
Lolo, how you feel about that?
About what?
Can we let Chris talk for a second?
Should have been 3 London clubs winning European trophies this year. We got one already. It's probably going to be a
That's
second.
not helpful, Chris. That's not helpful, Chris.
I'm good.
All right.
Imagine
Whatever,
next week
whatever
with
you got,
Najee
you're
on.
done. Cut him off. John, let him go.
Yeah.
But Chris, can we formally say
We look terrible since we've clinched the league, but
because you don't need to.
yeah, it's kind of
You don't need to do anything.
we had a chance to finish at 90 points or above, and we might finish with 83 now.
Yeah, but if I was you guys, I'd be like, let's lose every single game to make that second place team think they could have won it. Like,
Well,
fuck
Arteta
them.
certainly thinks so.
I think it was a good year for Liverpool to win it, I have to say.
We'll
Good
go
year
for the
for
Wolves.
the Slot to come in, because it hasn't been a great season, has it, really?
No.
You know,
It was a good
Not
year
at
for
all.
them.
it's a good year to win it.
Yeah, I can't
You
believe
still have to win it. You know.
I'm just shocked every time I see Spurs and United at 17 and 16. That was the Europa League final.
No, I can we just give Arteta a little bit of respect for saying this is a shit year, so like I don't want to win it on a shit year. Because
I know. I'm your friend and all, Lolo, but I don't care what the year is.
did Arteta say
No. I want it to be another crap year next year, and we get it. You know?
But Gary,
I only want to win it when it's difficult.
No, I know. I don't.
Gary,
you know what? I want every team to implode, and then we win it. I don't care.
But Gary, if we wanted this year, all we would hear is that it was the shittiest season
you know what?
ever.
I don't care, but I'll be having that trophy, right? I can't hear you. My head is in this trophy.
All about trophies.
I can't hear you. Nah.
Gary wants a season where Arsenal has 38 wins and every other team has 36 draws. Like,
yep. There you go. That's what we want.
I don't care how it happens.
We all draw each other.
We just spent a whole hour going. It doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you walk out with a trophy. And all of a sudden, now you guys want me to go. No. I want to go to the last game of the season, the last 5 minutes, and we score. Nah. What in the world is that?
The conference trophy.
This is my 9/11 football trophy back in many years ago.
Are we showing
9/11? Is that like that? Is that the year? You talking about the year in 9/11?
When I was between 9 and 11 years old, there, Gary.
They had metal back then.
Oh my god!
That's what I'm talking about. Did you play with? You played with rocks, right?
That's mine from last year.
Rock,
Played with rocks.
You chiseled the football, right?
Oh, look at this guy! Brings out a long stick.
Now that's a trophy.
What's that for, Mark? Is that for pool?
I got several of those upstairs.
Brooklyn
Queen
Bronx American Pool Association Championship.
I should have
Mark
guessed.
bought that because he knows the Wolves won't ever get one.
Some of us just throw
you know
ours
what?
in the drawer.
I don't have to have this conversation because we have no expectations, and we just
and you live up to them.
The jubilation of not being relegated is far more than what Arsenal will experience being second place.
Wow.
You know,
It's
second
true.
place is a disappointment.
Yeah.
Wolves not being relegated is fantastic.
Yeah.
Hey, boss.
I
You gotta look
can
at
relate
that.
to that.
I guess that's what I got to deal with.
No,
You
I
know?
can relate. I
Wolves
can
gotta go
relate to
for an
that.
FA Cup. If Palace can win an FA Cup, Wolves can win an FA Cup.
I don't think so.
Had Cunha not had a fucking meltdown, who
Yeah.
knows what might have happened.
True comment there. True comment.
Cunha had a
Mark,
meltdown,
you wanted to
which
bench him the rest of the season.
Oh, that's another
I
London
absolutely
trophy.
did.
You did.
Because guess what?
Yeah.
We were winning without him. And now when he does play, he's super
He-
uninterested.
Well,
And
when
he's
he,
gonna
Wait,
when he
should
does
we-
play, he'll be
won't
wearing a
play
red
another
shirt,
minute.
right? He won't even
And
be
he's
wearing
gonna
it.
he's
He'll
gonna
be
go
wearing a
to
yellow
he's
top.
gonna go to United and be a loser, you
Yeah.
know, and good on him, and we'll get
Oh,
65
cigarette.
million bucks. I don't know.
Pero
Are
solo
you
tengo
giving
esto.
cigarettes to kids?
Yeah.
Yeah,
How much
I
he got
see a
rewarded?
little kid come down the
Didn't he
stairs.
just say how much?
Hey,
Didn't he say how much? And the
He's
kid's
selling
like,
moosies on the stoop.
John, don't
I
worry,
swear,
they're just low tar.
Lolo, that person actually say this is a little light. I think that's what I heard.
What?
You're trying to.
I heard
He's
somebody
a
say
low
this is a
light,
little
did you say?
light.
I don't know, man. I
That
don't know
looks
what you're
scary.
saying.
What's going on?
You hand the
If
cigarettes
your
out like
customer just said
sweeties.
that's a little light.
No,
All right, I'll be
no,
right
y'all
back.
are just y'all just don't remember what it's like when I'm out on the stoop. We got pizza deliveries. We got guys asking for beers and fucking cigarettes, and
Is it
yeah,
raining
it's
there?
fine. It
Nice
stopped,
tears.
but
That's
I have
tears, Chris.
my
That's
I have
tears.
the tears of Arsenal fans falling on my head. But
You gotta finish second. Finish strong,
we are second. We can't
no matter
lose
what.
second. We can't lose second place.
Even if
Wait, I mean, we can if City
We
score like
could.
10 goals.
I mean, look at that.
8-0.
14 draws. That's what's killed you.
8-0.
Lola. 14 draws.
just clinch
8-0
second.
and
Clinch
we
second
lose.
with the draw.
Yeah, well, with a draw against Southampton, 0-0, so that Ramsdale gets a clean sheet on his last day, and he moves to United. Yeah, and then relegates United next year. It's all part of the plan.
So there's still so what? 5 teams go to the Champions League, but that includes Spurs, right?
Yep.
So
17th place. Just call them by their real name. 17th place. Below fucking West Ham.
17th.
Oh, Jesus.
I think that's great, actually. When you look at
It's
that.
bad for football, but everybody's saying it's great. All right, I get it.
Why is it bad for football?
It is.
What do they do? Do
Why?
they like when they win, they blow
Why is it
teams
bad for
out?
football
And when they
that-
lose, they lose
Because
by 1.
it's
A
bad for
team
football
having a-
because Nottingham Forest deserves to be in the Champions League more than Tottenham.
Well, no,
Yeah.
they clearly don't.
They
Well,
clearly do.
Forest still has a chance.
Let's see where Forest end up next year. They'll be in what, the Europa next year?
Well,
That's
no, I think-
the
Or
plan.
are they in the
They could-
conference?
Well, I mean,
They-
it could be
yeah.
it could be in any one of the 3 because they could still finish 4th. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. They play Chelsea
Okay.
to finish the season.
Yeah, Chelsea, yeah.
So they're likely
Yeah.
to be in the conference then.
Well, at least beating Chelsea, like if they do, Chelsea can't take that place, right?
No, they jump.
No.
They jump Chelsea. So it's all about Villa. If Villa and Chelsea lose, then Nottingham Forest has a
Yeah,
chance.
can you go back to the top of the table? So it's so
Yeah.
tight between
Yeah.
2 and 7.
And Newcastle get
Okay, so it's
Really, 3.
West Ham.
Forest against Chelsea then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's at a draw, and Forest won't be getting in the Champions League, will they?
Nope.
How many spots are going to be available for Europe? Is it like the
I think-
top 8?
Top 7.
7.
Top 7?
So they basically Forest needs to win, and then they need Newcastle and Villa to not win. Forest
What
wins,
does-
no teams draw.
Actually, it's not 7, isn't it? Because I thought they said if since that team
Well, now
won,
you got the Spurs as well now as well.
yeah, if that
Right,
team's
but-
in there.
but-
I think
Wait,
there's no team in. There's only one team in Europa. My understanding
But
is what I
with-
heard. You could,
With Newcastle
fellas,
winning,
fellas,
what do they get?
1 second. I'm gonna run upstairs. It's starting to get dark and cold out here, so I'll see you guys in a minute.
Okay.
all right.
In a minute.
So Chelsea
Thanks for the warning.
wins, or not Chelsea, but Newcastle wins the Carabao Cup.
Yeah. So
What did
they're
they
in-
get for that?
You're in Europa
League?
automatically.
Europa Conference or League?
Oh, because Palace has a spot
And
too.
Palace has a spot.
Yeah, they're both,
somewhere.
both in
Process,
the.
right?
They're
Yeah,
both qualified. for
only
Europa.
only one team will get into Europa this year because of the way it played out. Because as you said,
So it's
Crystal
going to be
Palace is in there, so
that's
there's
gonna
only
be
one
Palace.
team going into Europa outside of Palace right now. So somebody's going to get bumped.
Well, Villa will go in.
Yeah, well, they have to be if Villa. I think if Villa
If
draws,
they finish
they're
in
being-
6th, If they finish in 6th, do they not go in?
Good question.
I mean, it's like super
Mhm.
convoluted as far as I'm concerned. I get a little lost as far as like with all the different cups and who qualifies for what by winning and
Well, first-
what happens from there. You know, I mean, it was
Tell
just
'em
like
what
when
is it?
when
Is it
Arsenal
first 3
got
championship, then Europa for the next.
No, it's more than
2
that this year.
Is
Yeah,
it?
'cause
More
they
than
changed.
3.
They changed it, didn't they?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
7th place doesn't get anything.
No.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
because
should
okay,
get
because
twelve,
they're
confidence.
spots-
12 and 7 is Palace
because
and
it's
Because
all
we
built
got-
so far
Spurs.
down.
But we got some players some teams outside of the they get in. Is that what it is?
I mean, that could be sneaky.
like Palace. Where's Palace in the table?
They're 12.
And they get in. Yeah, that's why. That's why.
Well, they get in because they won.
No,
FA
I
Cup?
got
Yeah.
you. But then does that push out like you normally is it? And please correct me. Is it the
Crystal
top
House.
7? Top 7, you get into something. Correct normally.
It all depends on who wins the domestic cups.
Well, that's
But
what I'm talking about,
usually
yeah.
a top 7 team wins a domestic cup. So
Yeah.
I have a question for y'all, and this is something that's been kind of brought up a few times in my kind of following the news and the press conferences and whatnot. Recently, I think it was Pep who had talked about that that if he's forced to carry a bigger squad, that he'll quit. Is there a benefit to carry a smaller squad, especially when you are playing in multiple leagues? If you're playing in the Premier League, obviously you're playing in the Premier League, but if you're playing in Europe as well, or you're advancing into some of the later stages of cup play, is there a benefit? It doesn't seem to me that there is one. It seems like
I
you
don't
would
understand.
want
I think it's
a
more
little
just
larger
keeping
squad.
players happy.
Yeah,
But I don't understand the question about how do you keep a smaller club when you should have. Isn't there a maximum amount of players that you can have on a squad that are like ready to, like, say when you have your starting lineup, not the guys on the side or your academy guys, who you can put on the pitch and your subs? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, I don't know, because like I said, you know, it's like you hear managers talk about playing like I want to deal with a smaller club.
I think that's
a smaller
who
roster, a smaller
Mark. I could be
lineup,
Small
or
squad.
I could be
small squad.
stretching out, and Tony, you can jump in. It might be who he's willing to play. Am I wrong, Tone? Or is
No. Mark's what he's saying. He's referring to the size. You know, he wants to have a smaller squad, but you've got to think at the end of the day, you've got 5 subs. You've got you've got 11 people on the pitch, and you can only have 25 people on your list. Chelsea have had 50. Chelsea had like 52. Obviously, they had to try and reduce it.
I got you.
So when you look at something like that, and yeah, it is. I mean, I'm going to jokingly say it, but if you look at Arsenal, they have got a smaller squad, and you can see where it's cost them because of that in that respects.
Right.
You know, but if you have too big of a squad, I mean, not being funny, if you look at, for instance, even if you do semi-pro football, Sunday football, grassroots football, you know, if you have too many players, you can't please them all. And when you think the problem with Pep, because he does that heavy rotation all the time, doesn't matter if he pays £100 million for a player, he's going to rotate that player. You know, and you can't keep everyone happy. And you can see how players are. They'll be disgruntled and that. They want to move on. They're not going to play as well. So having a bigger squad is not always great to have. But if you're kind of successful and you've got these cup competitions and that, a bigger squad is beneficial in that respects. But if you're like us, you know, like a Wolves, and obviously even in certain respects Leeds, because obviously they're going to progress as they come on, a smaller squad is more beneficial for us because you can manage it better.
And that comes down to recruitment as well, because as you've seen, City's recruitment hasn't panned out for them. They spent a lot of money.
Arsenal has a small squad, but
you know what, Chris? I don't want to hear it. Whatever you're about to say, I really.
I love you, Chris. What do you say?
Nobody wants to hear that.
Chris, what do you
Nobody
say?
wants to hear
I
that.
want to hear it, Chris.
No. I hear you, but you can't hear anything.
I couldn't hear Gary with a snuggle on.
Take your airing piece and turn it up a little bit. You can't hear what's going on here. Oh man. No, but what I was saying is what I was saying is anyways is I believe City's recruitment is punished them in the last number of years. I mean, they spent $100 million on Grealish. I don't think that played out the way they expected. Right.
Not at all.
You know, so that and you know what? Money doesn't grow on trees, even though it does for them.
Yeah, that Holland guy was a bum.
Nah.
And the Mammoth guy, whatever they spent on him, what is it, 80 million? He's a bust.
Yeah.
See what happens when they can't beat Holland though? He goes dry.
No, but you can't replace a KDB, and that's been one of their problems, right?
That's good.
They
That's
haven't
a
found
very
that
true
KDB.
statement.
I mean, Wirtz would be that guy, right?
Rodri as well, though, as well, Gary.
I
Rodri.
think we can all agree that Rodri was their downfall.
No, but like,
Absolutely.
Mark. I like that. I think
but
so.
through the middle, you still don't have a KDB. You need the Rodri, you need the KDB. I mean, that's when they were moving, right? That's when they were
Kevin
shaking.
De Bruyne
basically
hasn't been the same since.
No, but he's
injury
getting
against
old. But they
Chelsea
haven't
in the
found an
Champions
answer.
League final.
Not that
You
old.
know,
But no, it's Rodri.
Where is Kevin De Bruyne going? That's what I want to know.
Man United.
the U.S.
Man United.
He's coming to the United States.
Do you think
I
so?
know, there's talks of Liverpool.
He'll get a
Mark,
huge payday.
He's still got quality in the Prem though. Somebody's going to pick him up.
He can't start for you. What are you going to do with a player making all that money sitting on your bench?
I think he does like the Chicago Fire.
That's insulting to him and his quality. I think he's still got a lot to give to a squad, and he'll be in the Prem. So don't count out him. I really like him. I think he's still quality.
That's a big stretch. He's not going to work no matter what. He works at
not
City.
The same since he got taken out by Rudiger.
No,
absolutely not the same. So what do we got? We got like a half hour left. We're waiting for Lolo to get back on. I'd like to turn attention to tomorrow's championship or the championship final. We got Sunderland. We got Sunderland versus the Blunts. Sheffield United.
You need to be watching that game, Lawrence.
I'm actually going to be watching this one, and I'm going to be rooting for. I'm throwing Premier League away tomorrow. My team's on the beach. Everybody, it's all been decided. I think Sunday has like Chelsea and Nottingham Forest, so I'll be watching that on Sunday. But this is going to be a fun game to watch. As I read, the most lucrative final in all of football. There's like $100 million at stake here, or something like that. David, can you confirm that?
Who's the bigger club?
Oh, Sunderland.
Sheffield.
Okay.
Yeah, Sunderland. I think so.
Sunderland, without a doubt.
Okay. Yeah, Sunderland.
I got 1-2 Sunderland.
Massive club.
Is Sheffield Wednesday bigger than Sheffield United in Sheffield?
Yes, they are. Okay. They are, but don't ask a Sheffield United fan that because you won't get the answer.
I remember when the show first started, Sheffield United was actually pretty good. I want to say they finished like 8th that season.
9th.
And we were talking about Sheffield United as just Sheffield, and we got like a very scathing email about it's not Sheffield, it's Sheffield United. You have to acknowledge that you guys are failing at every level.
Isn't the first?
And I don't even know if that's how their voice sounded, but
isn't the first organized club like Sheffield FC? Like it's another club.
I thought it was Preston North End.
Sheffield.
It's like Sheffield FC and like
Sheffield Football Club. Yeah, Sheffield Football Club were the original.
Because I remember Pele.
But now they don't play. And Hallam is part an area within Sheffield.
Yeah.
But they now play somewhere in Derbyshire because they kept on losing their ground. I mean, they're a very low level non-league side, but so they still exist as well. I think Hallam are the oldest football club, but Sheffield are the oldest associated football club or something like that. But yeah,
I just remember something. Maybe it was Cell because I think it's like Sheffield is 1850. Sheffield FC is like 1857 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like in 2007, I think they had Pele come to their stadium to celebrate like the 150th year.
Something like that. Yeah.
That's just an insane idea that there are clubs that are almost 100.
Didn't you lace them up?
Huh?
Did Pele lace him up or what?
He probably scored 3.
And how old was he at the time? 75?
John, what hell you at right now? Don't look at your normal setup.
I'm in Romania.
Oh, that's right. I forgot, buddy. I forgot about that.
Well, your mind isn't all there.
He's there on business.
So
I love to hate John.
So as our kind of resident English football experts, David and just walk us through why we want to watch
David's
this
an
game.
expert. Oh my God!
You want to watch
Give
this
too much
game
credit.
because, okay, it's different reasons. As you say, it's the potentially the most lucrative one-off game in football because it's worth so much to the winner. They will get all the. They're not going to get more than other clubs. They're going to get 200 million pounds, basically.
Jesus, and that's on an installment plan, right?
Yeah. It's because they get what everybody else gets in the Premier. That's the sort of crazy money that Premier teams get all the time. Even crazier, of course, is the fact that they're going to get that money, but they can't spend all of it because of the way the PSR rules are now. So they might be limited. Sheffield United would be okay. Sunderland, they will be royally fucked, basically, because they won't be able to spend hardly any of it, being it all comes down to the PSR.
Well, also,
they don't get to count that 200 as revenue.
That Sunderland has to make the stadium improvements for VAR. They have to spend the money that way, much like Ipswich had to.
Yeah. That would have to be installed if they haven't got it already, which I don't think they will have.
I don't think they do.
But I mean, the thing is, they're not going to have to do much else because that stadium is still a fantastic stadium.
50,000
Sorry,
seats, right?
It holds 41.
49.
Does it? I think something like that. I didn't think it was that big, but I know it's definitely in the 40s. Because I think, I don't think it's 49. That's
You
very
think
big.
Burnley has 10,000 seats, right?
Unlike Lawrence.
Or Bournemouth has 10,000 seats.
49,000.
11
Stadium is
Is it
49,000.
49? Is it
Bournemouth
that big?
10,000.
Wow.
Burnley is bigger.
In the
Apparently,
40s.
it says
Unlike
it's currently the
Lawrence.
9th largest stadium in the English professional game, apparently.
Which one?
Who's that?
It's the 9th largest stadium in the English professional
Stadium
game.
of Light.
Yeah.
Which club?
Sunderland.
Sunderland.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the thing is, historically, they were a huge club. And we're talking back, the wars and everything, like in last century and everything.
But
Massive
Mark,
club.
you should watch Sunderland Till I Die. It's a great
Yeah.
documentary. Sunderland Till I Die. I think it's on Netflix. But,
It's probably on Netflix because almost all the documentaries about football is on Netflix. All right.
I want Sunderland to go up,
on
and I
Amazon.
want them to do the double on Newcastle next season.
I think Sunderland deserve to come up. I mean, Sheffield United definitely love West Ham, that's for sure, because they've got 42 million reasons why they love West Ham. But I prefer Sunderland to come back up again. They're the poor man's relation to Newcastle, and I think it's something that they definitely need that kind of rivalry again.
I agree with them.
I personally think that Sheffield United deserve it.
I think they'll get it
finished.
though. Yeah.
They finished
been there all
almost
season.
Quality-wise, yeah.
Yeah, 20 points ahead, I think, or whatever it is. Is it 20?
Yeah, they've been there all season as well.
That's a good shout.
Okay,
though,
14.
David. You're right, for all that
14
work.
points.
To lose that.
But you know how it works, David, don't you? I mean, you've seen
that's
the fifth place team sometimes, or even the sixth place, and they get themselves up there. It's just madness.
100%.
But that's how difficult it is. And I don't think Leeds really messed up by allowing themselves to get relegated when they did, but that's what happened. But West Ham, you would know this, Tone, obviously, that you were in the second tier not that long ago, really, when you look at it.
In the grand scheme of things.
yeah, you've got up and you've stayed in the Premier. The same with Mark. Wolves got up, they stayed in the Premier, and the gap now between the two divisions is just massive.
Yeah,
It's been
And
very
even
massive
Leeds,
lately.
who
Very
are a
massive.
massive club,
hmm
are gonna find it really difficult next year.
Agree with
You know?
that.
I mean, not being funny. Look at look at Luton. I mean, at the end of the day, you'd thought them being relegated, they would put up a competition to go bounce
Look at
back
them
again.
now,
But,
yeah.
wow, that's
Yeah.
dropped like a stone. Unbelievable.
Yeah. But that can happen,
no.
though, can't it? Because
And, like-
you get used to losing.
Yeah.
And what keeps the three that came up from going straight back down, besides Tottenham and Man United having a disaster again? Like, I mean, honestly, as much as we love Leeds United, you're right. Like, you've spent 2 years being a Premier Championship club and dealing with that, and then when you come up, what keeps you from, like, what are you going to have to do to stay up?
Very, very good recruitment.
Like, you cheat like Nottingham Forest?
No, they won't do that.
They cheated and got caught and got
cheat.
fined, and they
They
were
did cheat.
totally fine.
Not being funny on that one, Lolo, because it's amazing that when Leicester came into the Premier League, when they came up for this season, they were supposed to be deducted 10 points. I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
I agree. They didn't.
They skirted that because they had been relegated when those charges came.
Yeah.
And they didn't apply outside of the Premier League.
Is Melier starting game 1, or are you guys getting a keeper?
He's gone.
I honestly, if I'm Leeds, I'm going after Kelleher. He's not starting. Hey,
not
take him on a
40
loan.
million.
Take him on a loan.
Well, because Liverpool has the guy from Valencia coming.
Yeah,
I'll take Keller in a heartbeat at West Ham.
And
I think you'll find that he might end up
I
at
think
Newcastle.
Kelleher goes to Leeds. That makes perfect sense because who is it? Who's coming in for Melier in the last few weeks?
Darlow
is not a Premier League keeper. And they're going to get someone, and Darlow is going back to the bench. And of everyone that I see that is possibly available, Kelleher makes the most sense. That's who I would pursue if I'm Leeds.
That's a lot of money for a goalkeeper. I'm not being funny. You don't need that much.
But what about a loan?
That's not down to them, is it? That's down to Liverpool.
Aaron Ramsdale.
Fair enough.
Aaron Ramsdale.
It could be Ramsdale. Could be Ramsdale.
Like guys whose confidence is absolutely shot.
They've also spoken about Sam Johnson.
Relegated, and when he got on with the
relegated
team,
3
it didn't
times.
work out.
Fine.
Yeah, and
when he got on with our team, we went. When he got on with our team, we went from like 7th, 8th place to 2nd place.
Yeah, but
I think he did very well.
Yet you still chased after fucking Riot.
He'll be in the Premier League. He's a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, Ramsdale belongs in the Premier League. I think Ramsdale could do well with a team like Manchester United. Actually, as much as I joke about that, he seems like a very Manchester United.
I mean, Ramsdale had it bad because he's got the defense in front of him. When he got to Arsenal, you looked at the stats, and he's facing the most shots of most goalkeepers in the league, and it's like, of course, he's gonna give up more goals. But with that in mind, he still was able to make saves and whatnot, right? And that you put a better defense in front of him, he'll look better, like anything else, right? So.
Yeah.
No, I think so you take any of those teams that are like he'll make Chelsea look better, because they're at least a little bit better than where he is now, right?
Chelsea would be a good call for Ramsdale because he's Chelsea. Sanchez.
Well, if the rumors are true, and he's probably going to be West Ham bound, if it is true.
Yeah.
Is it over?
I'd like
West Ham.
I think Newcastle bring somebody in.
Areola.
Well, Fabianski's gone now.
Ramsdale would be a solid choice for West Ham.
After Areola's howler on Sunday, and then
fucking shit was nuts. Stupid.
Whoa, that's a bit strong there, Lawrence.
It was terrible. Did you watch it, David?
Why would I watch that shit?
I'm telling you right now.
Jesus Christ.
See what it was,
Yeah.
Gary, David. He wasn't wearing his bifocals because when he looked up on that, all he saw was blue. And he thought it was Clayton blue, and he passed it to the player. That's what it was. It was shocking.
These things happen. These things happen.
Yeah, but he
Yeah,
looked. He looked up.
Arsenal
he
might
had
win a
time to
trophy
launch it.
tomorrow.
Oh yes, the women are. Yes,
Oh, the women.
The women are going to show us how to
Arsenal's
do
gonna
it.
fucking kill them, and you know it.
Yeah.
Dear.
Grasping at straws
Fuck.
there.
Now we have
I
Burnley
know.
back in the
I know.
league.
We've got off topic a little bit, but an 8th place team can make it to the conference league.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if
yeah,
if Chelsea wins in the cup match, but then they finish 7th, an 8th team gets an 8th team gets to go in.
They're in the Europa
Yeah.
Conference,
But only one team. But only one team from the top 6 will
Lolo,
go into the. Will go
Because-
to the
Because
League.
how hard are
the
you
Football
rooting for Reddit
League,
to beat
they
Chelsea?
qualify for the conference as well, don't they?
With all
Yeah.
everything I have, Chris.
Yeah.
Newcastle.
With everything
Newcastle
I have.
Newcastle.
Newcastle takes one of the 2 spots.
How
So
funny would it be if
only
like,
one team goes and everybody
Yeah.
else gets either
Yeah.
Europa League
So-
or
Yeah, that,
Champions League.
And
Yeah.
so if
I love that.
Newcastle finishes top 4, they have to relinquish that. Right?
Can we just, as much as I have zero respect for this guy, but can we have a little respect for the tweet that Anthony sent out, or on Instagram or wherever he sent it out
Where is he
after Tottenham won? He's at Betis now, but all he tweeted out was, "And I was the problem."
Oh.
Yo, give it to him. He scored a banger today. Like he's
McTominay.
no,
Anthony.
Anthony.
Oh,
I'm so
for Betis.
McTominay-
They played in La
McTominay won
Liga, but
Serie
he had
A
a banger
MVP.
today. A beautiful goal today.
You see that? McTominay, Serie A Player of the Year.
yeah.
McTominay, yeah,
crazy.
and he was
It's
a problem.
crazy.
And I even tweeted out, and Mark rolled his eyes or did like a thinking emoji when I said Harry Maguire is their best player.
He was.
That should tell you something. That should tell you there's a real fucking problem.
What is it?
going
We
on at
need a
Manchester
goal.
United.
We need a goal, so we leaned on Harry Maguire, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
they bring in an
the
extra center back
the
so
timely goals
Maguire
that he
can
has
play
scored
forward.
this season, you're like, yeah, he is definitely the man
No,
that's
you
giving them
look
what
at
they
their
needed.
you look at their run to the finals. Their run
It's
to
been-
that
it's been
final
excellent.
was all on Harry Maguire. It was
Yeah.
all Harry Maguire.
Oh, wasn't
and
that the
in
one that
that
went to
final,
like
he-
120 some odd minutes?
No problem, Tony. Tony's got to leave.
All right, Tony.
Gents,
All right,
thanks
Tony.
very much.
on.
It's
Thanks
been a
for
pleasure.
joining
Thanks for coming
Hey,
on.
Tony, take
Good
care,
to see
bud.
you,
And
Tony.
you as well, yeah. Look after yourselves and
Hey, Tone, come on, you
yeah.
on.
there's that as well, mate. And you know,
That's
just
a
remember that
very
thing
gay
behind you. Yeah?
pose,
I
Winners.
know, you know what? I didn't
Winners.
say it. I didn't say it, David. But oh,
Oh, I'll fuck David up for that shit. That's
Okay.
like a kind of gay
Come
guy.
on, you
Yeah.
Lions. Come on,
You
you
know what?
Lions.
They were like Boy George singing. They wanna
See,
sing
we
a
already knew
special
you was in a
song.
closet one, David.
We
Now
know,
you
we know
pulled
what
it out, mate.
irons are in England. Mm.
Yeah. And is it weird that your like motion is half of the Macarena? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like,
See?
come on, man.
Yeah.
What are we
Tony,
doing?
you're
here?
making me do this.
Come
I'll
on,
sit
you irons.
There you go. We got you doing it, Lolo. It's only taken me X amount of episodes, and I've finally got you doing it anyway. But gents, look after yourselves.
All right.
Take
Have a
care.
good night.
Take care, later.
Akalabi Bagaria Magarena. There you go.
So, bye-bye. And people in the chat, thanks for tuning in. Thank you.
I thought David was going to say the same thing about blowing bubbles, but
No,
What's
no,
that?
no. Bubbles is done. Bubbles is laying on the side, going
yeah.
like, no more, please.
we're not blowing
Right.
bubbles anymore.
You can't keep blowing me all the.
you said, you
they-
said me.
Bubbles is there
You
just
said
smoking
me.
a
Does that
cigarette.
mean-
that's what
What is
Bubbles
your?
is saying.
Is that your middle name?
Bubbles is saying enough, guys. You can't just do it
Actually-
at the beginning of the match. You have to score a goal. Oh no,
Oh,
God!
what
Yeah,
is-
there
what
it
is
is. Memories
Wow.
of our show. But I
It's
gotta
either a
say-
swastika or I don't know.
Swastika, dude.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I don't
You know what?
really
You know what
wanna
they
go
call
there,
they
but I
call that
remember
the
Jay.
COVID got him.
I
He was-
remember
he
that
was
day.
sick.
There was a very, very
COVID got
angry
him.
Irons fan.
Oh
who
man.
was
Yo,
like,
well, he
no
was-
way.
we
But-
were both angry because I had a swastika on my head and he had a giant cock on his head. Like he had the cannon, and it just looked like a cock and balls. I had a swastika, and we were both like, "Can we stop this live stream? This is not going well."
All things too. He did it, but he never came back to the show.
He never came back, and he was very mad about it. And we even found a barber in his hometown in Texas, and I was like, "I will pay for it." And he's like, "No, I'm going to find my own barber if I have to do this." He was so mad.
Right. Yeah,
and then he ended up with a cock and balls.
Because the difference, if I'm not mistaken, was own goal.
So the difference was just semantics, because the bet was there's no way in hell that West Ham are going to score more goals than Arsenal. Because he was like, we're going to go 3-1, 3-1 or something like that. And I was like, there's no chance in hell that West Ham score more goals than Arsenal. And then it ended up like a 3-3 draw, but we had two. Yeah, there he goes. The guy made it work, but originally it looked like cock and balls, and it was like not happy. I mean, he still wasn't happy about it, but
yeah, there's only one team that has cock and balls.
But it was Arsenal, like West Ham had 2 own goals or something. So he was like, technically we scored more goals than you.
Right.
So I said, you know what? Fine, I'll do it. I think we even won because it was just supposed to be him. And then I was like, okay, you guys technically score. I'll do it because he was bitching out. He wasn't going to do it.
Arsenal fan, rate the teams that you hate in order of 1 to 5. Like Spurs is 1, right?
No.
Chelsea.
Chelsea's
1
for me. Chelsea, and it's probably only because of Najee.
Oh, poor Najee.
Are those the
I miss you, Najee? If you're listening out there, we definitely miss you.
For me, I would probably go Chelsea, Tottenham, Man United, Villa.
4.
City.
I mean, you can throw any number of fucking London teams out there. You can throw Brentford.
Villa,
for that matter.
But I just remember from the moment I started following Arsenal, Villa were just like they were bouncing up and down from the championship, and it didn't matter. Whenever we played them, we just had a hard time. And then over the years, you know, when we could have won the league, we lost to Villa. When we could have won the league again, we lost to Villa. It's like, and then they got fucking Unai Emery, and now there's this, and now, and I just, it's less of a, like Chelsea, I hate the fans and everything they stand for as a club. Tottenham, it's a banter thing of location, and you know, it's more of a historical thing. Man United is a deeper historical thing, and I hate the fans. City, if they had any fans, I would hate them. I just hate them because they're the Patriots at this point.
Sorry, wait a minute. What's that about City? Not having fans?
Well, Anisha's a fan, but
City have a lot of fans.
I went there. Those aren't fucking
fans.
fans. Those aren't fucking fans.
They have a lot of fans. They always have had. Another massive club.
Hey, you guys didn't mention that Ben got married.
They what do you call it?
No, because he doesn't come on the show anymore.
They average just 1,500 or so less than their attendance. You know, they're Man City always had big attendances back in main road days and things like that.
Congrats,
you know?
Ben. Congrats, buddy.
Hey, there you go.
Never
Stop supporting Leeds.
300 kick.
Brilliant.
John, did you make that? That should be its own meme right there. Hold on, put that back. Put the end screen. I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna grab that and put that on Twitter. Right
that was on. I think James had given that.
Oh, okay. You didn't make it.
I edited all of the other ones.
I think that it would be certainly appropriate at this moment to acknowledge the fact that one of our very own Stoop legends, Ben Ireland, got married just a couple of days ago. Married a wonderful woman by the name of Colette, who I had the privilege, and Lolo got the privilege to meet when we were in England.
What about me? What about me? You forget about me? Why do you hate me? I
don't
hate
hate
you.
you.
All you do is hate me. You hate
I'm
on me.
sorry. You know what? I'm not
Dude.
making this about you. This is about Ben
No,
and
I'm making
Colette
it about
right now.
me.
And if I
When did you get
hey,
married?
David was there too. Yeah, I
No,
don't
I
know. I'm
never
sorry.
met her.
I'm not
No.
making this about you. I'm not making this about anyone other than Ben and Colette. And
Divorce, yeah.
all I want to do is put a fucking heartfelt congratulations to a Stoop legend, Ben Ireland, who married his love, and they are going to have an absolute fabulous life together. And I could not be happier. So, Ben, if you're out there listening, cheers to you, mate, and cheers to you, Colette, as well. Happy to know you both, and I hope you have a long history together. Cheers.
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 Where's Lolo to read this night's tonight's sponsor?
Tonight's sponsor is the judge that married Colette and Ben.
No. In honor of Ben and Colette's marriage. There you go. Go
The
ahead.
boys on the stoop put together all their money to get them a wedding gift to top all wedding gifts. On the stoop mystery sponsor is, hold on, Lolo, who's not here. Friends, are you tired of being disturbed while trying to watch that big match? Peace and Quiet Production presents Control a Woman. Oh, no one is going to control Colette.
Oh, I'm glad you're doing this, Mark.
Oh, Colette, if you're listening out there, no, I had nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with
and Mark,
this.
we've met her. This isn't working on her.
This is the control that she's going to use on Ben. Oh, hard hats, vouchers, including choose your favorite team. $100 off.
Get $100 off.
Divorce. Oh, good lord! You're already cursing them, Director John.
No.
That's what John does. He makes fun of people.
All fun aside.
Yeah,
we're being very serious here, Ben and Colette. We love you both, and we're very, very happy for you.
They're hanging out in Portugal as we speak.
Now, if you make it 33 years
Ben.
like me and my wife,
Colette.
you got a good job.
30 years. Congrats, Lawrence.
33. Yep, 33 years.
33. Whoa.
Your wife?
Yep.
33.
I'm close.
No,
Your
my
marriage
fucking
is
pet
older
dog,
than
John. Of
Jesus.
course it's my goddamn wife. For Pete's sake, dude.
I'm close.
No,
I'm
33.
at,
I'm just thinking of your poor wife. 33
14.
years waking up every day to that face.
It's a lovely mug. It's a lovely
John, I think you need to rewatch the movie, because if you watch Up, his face changes slightly throughout the movie. He starts as a little kid and then he grows up in Up. You'll just have to watch it. It's Lawrence's whole progression.
I'm only kidding, Lawrence. 33 years, good for you.
So congrats to Ben, and another shout out to another Stoop legend who looked death in the eye and fought through it. Our own Mr. Tom has had some setbacks health-wise, and but he's out of the hospital and he's doing a little bit better. So big up to Mr. Tom. Long time.
Speedy recovery, Mr. Tom.
Probably
Love you,
the
Tom.
longest Stoop legend, huh? Mark? The oldest Stoop legend.
Continuous? Absolutely continuous.
The best one,
and
Lawrence.
and it, if you get a chance, send a shout out to Mr. Tom and just tell him that you're thinking about him. You can reach out to him at Mr. Tom what is it, Mr. Tom 63 on
Don't be giving out random fucking Twitters if you don't know if it's true.
Look, I'm trying. I'm trying because
Zballs.com.
Mark, I'll find it for you. I'll find it for you.
Whatever it is, I think it's Mr. Tom 23. If you just
don't guess is all I'm saying. Stop guessing.
Look, man, maybe Mr. Tom, the other Mr. Tom, maybe he's going through a hard time. I don't know. but really,
God, cut him off, please.
Our Mr. Tom is having a real rough go. And
you know what? Why not hit up Mr. Tom 22, Mr. Tom 21, Mr. Tom 20? All of them probably need a hug. Is what we're saying.
Here, hold on. I'm gonna get this.
Mark, I'm finding it for you.
We're killing you.
Knowing Mr. Tom, he is Mr. Tom 20, 21, and 22.
Yeah, no, but
he's all
he
of
is
them.
Mr. Tom 28. So there you go.
There you go.
28.
28. Yeah.
There you go. So, however you do it, just look in on Mr. Tom. Send him your very best because he can use it. And I don't want Mr. Tom to think that we've forgotten about him or anything like that. He is a huge part of who we are, and I want him to. I cannot wait for the day that he is ready to come back on any of his shows, whether it be All Leads Are We or the wrestling show or on Don't Waste the Tweet or this little tiny shitty show called on the Stupid Lolo. I don't care where he comes back to. I just want him to come back. And so, Tom, if you're out there, speedy recovery. We're waiting for you, and we will always wait for you.
Mark, that was beautiful. I just
I'm a
hate
fan
when
of Tom.
Mark, I just hate when you get sentimental because you tend to fill it with jokes like that are so easy to jump on, and I just can't jump on them because you're being sentimental and and I'm like, he said that, and I'm just like fighting all the jokes.
Look.
Lolo's that try not to be a dick meme.
Right. Despite my malapropisms, despite my inexperience, despite my repetitiveness, I have nothing but the best of hearts, and I love you all, even you Arsenal fans.
See, you got the nothing but the best of farts. You're just Mark, when you're sentimental, you make it too easy. There you go.
She had makeup on then.
Oh,
She's
wow.
still hot.
That's the same lady.
That was David.
Did you guys see that?
David, was that your wife?
That was the same lady. Hey, that's an Arsenal fan. You. Well, that's not an Arsenal fan.
No, he's definitely not an Arsenal fan.
Get in there, you gooner.
Okay, so to finish this out, Lawrence.
Yes.
Who had a better season, Tottenham or Arsenal?
Arsenal. No matter, I still agree with that. And they got the trophy there, but at the end of the day, they were a better team. Spuds, I'll never ever say they had a good year. I hate them to the death. So I'll never.
I knew
give
I
them
picked
any
a West
credit.
Ham fan for a reason.
I'll never give them credit. I actually Spuds with their trophy.
All right,
was
Lawrence,
my ass.
who had a better year, Arsenal or Crystal Palace?
Oh, Crystal Palace.
Ooh, I would know. Great shout there. I'm gonna go with Crystal Palace. I like them, man. Yep.
Yeah, I'd give that one to that Mark. That trophy means more to me than the Europa League. Like what
Good
Palace
shout
did
there. I would go with Palace.
means
Yep.
more to me than what.
And like
Tottenham
you
did.
guys said before, the fans and as a fan of a team that's not in the top six, to see those fans celebrate and cry because they won a trophy after all those years, That's the passion and love you have.
You know what?
Mark, can someone talk besides you?
No,
Mark,
please,
let me
please,
finish.
please. Of course.
For
My
God's sake,
apologies.
dude. I love you,
My
but let me finish.
apologies.
I only talked like a couple seconds with you. But the thing is, Crystal Palace fans like that, it was like the passion that I had when we won our trophy in Europe. It was like,
Which trophy?
or not.
Which trophy was that?
That was mean.
No, Lawrence. You're saying good shit. Continue, my friend. Continue.
I'm
Sorry, Lawrence.
that now.
I had to do that. I had to do that. You just like, whoop, boink. It's so easy.
But Lawrence, continue. You
I'm
were
sorry.
speaking truth.
You are.
I'm done now. Lost
Yeah.
my flavor. Thanks, John.
Excellent.
Fuck yourself.
Well done, Lauren.
Okay,
I'm
don't
gonna
say
let
we
you
never
talk.
let you talk.
You better talk.
Okay, then who's going next? David, I want you to go next. Who had a better season, Tottenham or Arsenal?
Tottenham. They won a trophy. And they've ended up in the Champions League. That's it.
All right.
But
That is
Leeds
an
had a
opinion.
better season out of all of them. So
Leeds definitely had a better season out of all of them. All right, Gary.
Ugh.
yeah. Just
Say it, Gary.
Here's a better question, Gary.
What's
Would
that?
you rather have had Arsenal season or Tottenham season?
No, I don't want that team's season. But no, but they you know what? They won a trophy, and that's what we all strive for. So there you go. I mean,
well said,
I
Gary.
mean, long term, I hope it pans out for us. But you can't be. At some point, you got to cross the line. So I don't want to finish the race all the time. I want to actually cross. I want to bust through the tape. You know what I mean? So
You never finished the race.
So who are you saying?
I don't like that team. I don't like anybody. So, but they did better than us.
Come on, it's Arsenal.
Yeah.
So Gary, are you saying that Tottenham had a better season than Arsenal?
They got a trophy.
That's
what I. You know what?
He can't say more than that.
They got a trophy.
5-1.
Guys, I'm gonna
in
need you guys to be quiet for a second, because we need Gary on camera saying what I think he's saying.
I don't like them, but I'd rather win a trophy than not. That's what I'm gonna
So
say.
who had a better season?
I
Say
don't.
it.
I don't like them.
Say it.
No. No.
Can't do
Did
it.
Arsenal
I
have a
wouldn't do it
better
either.
season than Tottenham? Yes or no?
Yes.
The team that won a trophy
Yes.
had a better season. Does that
Okay,
work?
that's as close as we're getting. All right, Chris, you're already giving your answer.
All right, the answer is yes.
Let's hear your explanation.
The answer is yes. It doesn't mean that it's not disappointing. You should have put closer to 80 points up in the Premier League. No one can question that. You guys beat Madrid 5-1 in a two-legged affair. You only lost to the best team. The only reason you're not in the Champions League finals is because you lost to the best team in Europe, which is also a team that smashed Liverpool. Arsenal had injuries. They probably still should have had 80 points because they drew too many games and didn't go for it enough. But they had a better
enough.
year
I agree with that.
Thank you, Chris. Fucking somebody talking some fucking logic.
What did he say?
I'm not talking to you anymore, Gary. I don't like you ever since you said Tottenham were better than Arsenal this season. God damn it. All right, Mark.
I didn't say. I don't know what that name is. You just said.
Newcastle.
You're not going to like what I have to say, but Tottenham had the better season. If the goal is to win trophies, Arsenal did not, and Tottenham did. Regardless, if you finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 17th, the end result for both teams was the same. Both qualified for the Champions League.
They only won a trophy that exists because we're corporate whores.
It does
because of what?
Matter.
Because we're corporate whores and need a second
not
trophy in Europe
matter.
and a third trophy.
Now,
There's always the second trophy, though.
When enough
Chris.
American-owned teams make the Premiership and they can control the vote on how things go, it doesn't matter.
But
the end result
There's
was
those
both
armpits for
teams
you, Mark.
qualified for Champions League.
Take a snap for the spank bank, Mark.
And look at those! Look
I
at
see
those!
zebras. I see
Look
zebras.
at those!
So what do you think
armpits.
about the Europa League? The
The
Europa
fact
League
remains is Tottenham won their trophy. Arsenal did not. Both qualified for Champions League. It has to be. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what happened. It doesn't matter how many points.
Mark,
Arsenal,
we need to give you cliff notes.
it doesn't
Less than
matter
60 seconds.
how far they got into the Champions League because they got fuck all. They got fuck all.
Mark,
they're competing for
thank
real
you very
things.
much.
The
Thank
show
you very
started.
much for
the
your
show
opinion.
started with
As
Lolo
much
and
banter as
Mark
we give.
going at it, and it's finishing like that. Brilliant.
Hey, I was asked.
I love that you gave us your opinion, as horrible as it is.
Well, 5 years
and
on the show,
wrong
my
as it is.
opinion has been wrong. So I will die on that hill.
I just can't believe that a Wolves fan is saying trophies matter. Like, come on, no. We're talking best season. Who had the better season? And if you want to talk about the season, yes, trophies matter. But in the end, there's what? 4 trophies? 6, 7 with the Conference League and all that shit. But like, best season.
Don't forget Lawrence's. Don't forget Lawrence's trophy.
14 trophies.
Yeah, so
I know you love me,
I'm
Lawrence.
just saying best
Man United
season.
wins the
You
conference.
can never not smile when you're looking at me.
Or if Man United won the Europa League, would we really say Man United had a better season than Arsenal?
They both achieved the same thing.
But
there was
Mark's
silverware.
Mark's
I will
opinion
still say that.
Mark's opinion is trophies trump. So
David,
trophies
have levels.
Lawrence,
I agree with Mark, because at the end of the day, when you look at the history books, the history books will show that year Spurs were winners.
Yeah, in
as
10
were
years' time, no one will give a
Newcastle,
fuck that
Palace,
Arsenal finished
Liverpool, maybe
but that's why I'm
Chelsea.
saying I hear your opinion and I do respect it and I understand it and I understand what you're saying. So, but my opinion on it would be season wise, who would walk away from their season happier? Spurs, maybe because it happened at the end that they got a trophy and they walk away, but they could lose their last game of the season and then walk away sad, going like, "Oh, we are fucking shit in the league." As opposed to Arsenal, Arsenal, I feel the players are going to walk away feeling like, "Fuck, we were this close, but we're there," and that to me shows that what
they will say is we were this close,
and we fucked up again.
Yeah. However, we're there.
I came to Arsenal to win trophies, and I'm not winning. That's what that team is.
Who was it? Mateus Tell, who joined Tottenham, who said, "I'm going there to win trophies," and then they go, "You won a trophy," and now he goes into next season. Do you think they have any confidence of winning another trophy?
No.
I guess the stars will let us know next year.
No. I'm saying
maybe
if you're
they win
a player
a
on
domestic
Tottenham,
trophy.
do you have any hope that you're going to win a trophy next season?
Trophy. If Palace and Newcastle can win one, why can't they?
That's their it. They're thinking that way, David. Of like, if they can do it, why not anybody? Even us pieces of shit.
Why not? Why not? You know what?
It
wasn't Tottenham that proved that. It was Crystal Palace that proved that. Crystal Palace proved that, you know what? Anyone can win.
But Crystal Palace played well all season.
Isaiah Love. I
No, they
want him on
didn't.
West Ham.
They came alive
No, he
after
did. They were
the
quad.
window.
They're sitting in the
They
top
started
6.
strong.
They played
They
well
started
this
strong and
season.
faded at the
Crystal
end.
They don't. You
Crystal
don't. You know. You
Palace
don't
have
finish.
played well
You're
all
saying it's all
season.
They
luck then?
started
So none of
strong at
that.
the
They didn't do
beginning.
anything
The Crystal
themselves.
Palace did, and
Everybody
they
else just
faded.
gave
Come
them
on.
those wins. No,
Crystal
they were
Palace
amazing.
have been a
You don't think
tough
a
Crystal
healthy
Palace
draw
Tottenham,
all
if they keep
season.
the same squad, can compete for top 4?
No.
I mean, that on paper, that's a very talented team. Solanke, Son, Johnson. You've got Van de Ven.
yeah, but
Possibly,
you know
Mark.
what? That doesn't
Possibly,
matter because
Mark.
it doesn't matter for Arsenal because we can name off players too that didn't play well because they were out. So
Oh,
no,
geez,
and you
here
just
we
said
go,
that's not. You
defending
said you
That's
can't
my
Arsenal
use
whole
that.
again.
point.
No, but you
Guy
don't want
in
to hear
his,
it when it's Arsenal.
koozie.
So you know what?
The
It's
guy
I'm
in his
just
little
saying
fuzzy.
that
the
you
question
guys are
was
saying they're going.
question
Don't talk
was
to West Ham.
about the
Talk
Hold,
to Man
season.
everybody
United. We
stop.
talked
Everybody
Arsenal. We
stop.
talked all day.
Everybody
They were-
stop. Everybody stop. Everybody stop. We're just talking over each other. So I'm going to go Gary, Mark, Lawrence.
No,
Make it quick,
the question
please.
was about the season, right? When you look at the season, did you achieve the goals you had set forth when you started? No, Arsenal didn't do that. Are they set up better for the future? Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the thing, yes, we didn't get a trophy, but we're set up better to win a trophy more than probably most teams in the league, right? And that's why the expectation this year was to get a trophy because of the previous season. We've beaten some of our challenges, as far as cup going deep in the cups. But until you cross the line, you still haven't reached that goal. And the goal is to win a trophy, right? We're done with this building thing. But you're seeing growth, right? You're seeing progress, as we call it. But at some point, you got to cross the line first, right? So for me, yes, that team and Manchester United, they're not set up for the future yet. They got to start all over again to figure this thing out, right? Because we've seen what happens when all teams struggle with injuries, right? But like I said, we're set up better for the future. But if we're gonna go by at the end of it, on Sunday next week, you look at what you accomplished, and you didn't get where you wanted to go. I don't think that team came into the season going, you know what, we're gonna win a trophy. They got one now, but they don't think they planned that way. I don't believe they did. Not the way they were set up. Not the way the season ended for them last year. Did they had an opportunity to get it, and what did they do? They didn't waste it. Right? They ran through that Europa League, right? But in general, that wasn't the goal when they first started. Top 4 was definitely the goal, right? To win a trophy, I don't think so.
Here's the thing, Gary. You just said that Tottenham did not expect to win a trophy at the end of last season. What did Ange say? He said, I win trophies in my second year. What happened? He won a trophy in his second year. Now, what you just said about Arsenal being set up for success and next year, I've been hearing that for the last 3 years from Arsenal fans. I have been hearing we're going to win next year, and you fall short.
You're repeating everything I just said. What are you saying? Give me your own thoughts. You just repeat everything I just said.
I am just saying is I am tired of Arsenal fans saying, "Oh, next year." No, you're no more set up for success than any of the other 19.
I don't believe that. I mean, you're saying it, but that's not true. What you just said there.
Seriously,
that's not true. If you're looking at it with your eyes at what you just saw, you can't really say that.
You have won fuck all. You have won fuck all.
Do you
say that
look at the way your season's ending? Are you think you're set up to win anything? You're going to say no because you had no opportunity. You don't have an opportunity to do that.
Hold on. I think that's a bit of hyperbole saying
bit of a stretch.
19 other teams, Mark. But had you said
not? Look at Forest. Look at Brentford. These are teams that are competing.
Look at Leeds United. Look at Burnley. They are not set up in the same way Arsenal are to win the fucking league.
I think David might disagree with
financially are not. You think Leeds United are fucking set up in the same regard
We're
as
gonna
Arsenal
fuck
to
you
win the
over,
league next season?
Lolo. We're gonna fuck you over.
Oh, we got another old guy out here talking nonsense, screaming at the sky.
Why you have to talk about
He's
age,
having
Gary?
fun with
I'm gonna
it.
start
No,
calling Gary.
Much rather have
I'm
them
trying.
scream
I'm
at
trying
the
to help
sky.
you out here. Mark.
And his fuzzy little thing.
Mark,
Don't fuck
I'm
age.
actually trying to
I
help
love,
you
I
out
love
here.
you,
I'm
Lawrence.
just
I love
saying.
you.
I love you too, Gary. I love you.
I
too.
hear what you're saying, and you're not wrong about it. But 19 teams is a stretch. Saying 6 teams, 7 teams, even looking at Manchester United and Tottenham, where you're right, Mark, when you say look at their team, there's no reason they should be 17th. You're absolutely correct. They
won't be next
have
year.
they have a top 6 club in their midst. It just didn't work out this year for whatever reason, for injuries, whatever. It just didn't happen. However, their players are too good to be down there next year. And Manchester United are the same way. But now we're looking at Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Newcastle,
They're too good to
Villa.
be down there this year.
Yeah, they're too good to be down there this
under
year.
40 points. There's no, I don't
And
care.
and that is fucking insanity.
If Tottenham was 11th,
Mark,
if Tottenham was 11th, I'd give it to Tottenham. They are 17th.
Yeah.
They are the first place.
They haven't
not
hit
get
40
relegated.
points. They have not hit 40 points. And we're on the last day of the season. So all I'm saying is you're right in that there are 6 or 7 teams who could quite easily win the league next year. This year could have been a handful of teams had they got their shit together a little bit earlier and had Liverpool actually had a real dip. But they never did. We were waiting for Liverpool all season to have a little bit of a dip, and they just never
it doesn't
did.
matter though.
Do y'all know how many points West Ham had to finish the season when they won Europe? They had 40.
Yeah, that's
Lawrence,
more than Tottenham.
Can you back me up? They had 40 points that year.
It was a different season, though. Where did they finish? They finished like 13th, 14th.
We were
No.
14th and
No,
we
no,
were.
no, no,
Yes, we
no.
were. We were
But
14th.
you
I think
threw a
that's
number out there. You threw
Why do you have to
40
be
points
certain?
out there.
I have to go
Tottenham
give
can
him a stat,
win their
dog.
final game of the
David
season
sit-
and finish
Mark's
with
sitting
more
there with all his
points
numbers. I'll have
than
to
West
check
Ham
it,
did
but-
that year.
And Mark, I think their season was shit, even though they won something. These guys.
It was. We
And
had
that's
3.
all that
Good for them.
matters.
That's awesome.
Trophies is
That's
the
awesome.
winning trophies is the end result that
I-
everyone wants.
So does nobody get fired then? So as soon as you win the trophy, nobody
David
gets
Moyes
fired.
got fired, which I thought was
Everybody
a
got
huge
fucking
mistake.
fired.
I don't think it was, but I'm saying I think there's.
Well,
different
look where you are
expectations.
now.
Well,
Potter's not the answer.
Who is?
Lopetegui wasn't the answer.
I think you need to check yourself because I think more so it's not just the managers, it's the players performing, and it's the owners buying the right players. So you can't always blame the managers. I've said this for a couple years, Moyes included, Lopetegui, and now Potter, is that you got to get the right groceries. And it comes down to the owner, and the owner is Sullivan doing it. Let me finish. I know, Mark, you love to talk over people. Let me fucking
I'm not
finish.
looking to
So what
talk
I'm trying to say is that that's our problem, is that we have to have someone who's going to buy the right grocery to get the right job done and the chemistry. Potter can do it, maybe. Lopetegui can do it. Moyes is okay, and then Moyes will do good in Everton because he can get a good thing going. But I'm telling you right now, the problem right now is getting the right players, chemistry going, and that starts with the. And the problem we have is Sullivan. His ass always wants to try to be involved in it. He is not smart enough to have proper direction on getting the right players. So back to your point about us when we won it, when we were 14th in the league, we started fading. We still won it, which was great, but we started losing our luster. We were doing what we were like 3 years in a row. We were in Europe.
Europa League, yeah.
So I was proud of that. We're not perfect, but we got that. We're slugging now, but we'll come back. So that's all I got to say.
Lawrence, you're perfect.
I know I am.
I predict that West Ham will win a trophy in the next couple of years.
I love that, David.
Yeah, championship.
The championship.
You're gonna suck it. Suck it.
It's a trophy. It's a trophy.
Just like
Winners.
Leeds. Hey, Leeds, guess what? Leeds was the 21st in the Prem this year.
You wait until next year.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm
Gee.
looking forward to it. Know what?
I'm expecting-
I am so looking
Oh.
forward to it, David. I am so looking forward to it, buddy.
I'm expecting Leeds to splash the cash. They're going to spend the money.
I think they will, but they'll do it wisely.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I think
our
Leeds
recruitment
will
this
as
year was
well, but
fantastic.
I think there's more holes in Leeds than their cash will cover.
I agree with that, Mark. Finally, I agree with you.
If that is the case, Mark, then unfortunately football is fucked. Because
Well,
if you
I
can't
mean-
have a club like Leeds and all their cash and their recruitment, if they can't make it in the Premier at least 1 or 2 seasons, then you might as well do away with promotion and relegation.
Yeah.
Hey, David, I
that's
have a
crazy.
question for you. What is Leeds going to benefit? What does Leeds have as a club that will keep them above their Prem from the last 6 teams that have went down every time they come up? You get what I'm
Sorry,
saying?
say
Because
again.
for the last 2 years, the teams that come up, they go down.
I'm gonna
Come
get
up,
a
go down.
beer.
So
Yeah.
what
Anybody
is
need anything?
Leeds have that they'll stay up? Or are they
Uh,
spending more cash?
I think the club is better run. I think the recruitment the recruitment this year, they got it spot on. And they did very well last year as well, but this year it's spot on. And they've got the cash. I mean, they've got a lot of money. They've got big backers, and everything's being geared towards longevity, like redoing the stadium and things like that, which are going to start by the end of the year, I think, or at least the preliminaries will be.
Are the
Yeah.
49ers 100% owners now?
No, they're not.
No, not 100.
They
But
keep,
I
I
mean,
keep hearing the thing 49ers.
they're the big boys. They're the big boys. They call the shots. Yeah. But yeah. If Leeds can't stay up, then it's just spells very, very badly for any other championship sides that
Well, it's been like that, Dave,
current championship
for the
sides.
last 2 years. It's been a struggle for the ones that come up. Burnley is
Yeah.
I'm just taking facts. For the last 2 years, the ones that come up, they seem to go down, and they don't fight very good. I have confidence in Leeds. I think Leeds has the chance, and even Burnley to an extent, but the history does not show in the last couple of years.
I mean, the interesting thing about Burnley is, can they be as? I mean, they've got an incredible keeper. Can they be as defensive?
Defense is good, but offense, 100%. You hit it right on the head. Can they hire or can they buy more attacking?
I feel like Burnley's
I
going to have
agree
the type of year where their keeper is going
It'll
to
be gone. It'll be gone.
He's going to be in the
He'll be
shop.
sold by
He's going to be
somebody
in the
else.
shop
Yep, I
window
agree
for
with
a
that.
different Premier League team.
100%.
I
Totally
think
agree
he'll
with
be
both of you.
gone. They've already lost Egan Riley, who was like.
So
to
that's
me,
the
I thought
point, though. Is
I thought he was the
they'll
best.
pick these good players, and they'll come up, and they don't have them players that got them there, and they fall back.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got good shout. Yeah.
But that's a lot of that is down to the current Premier clubs who have voted through one of the rules, which is actually going to penalise the Championship clubs even further, the ones that come up, because they're not going to be allowed the same amount of money to spend as Premier clubs, in a one-off season.
Is that right?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I mean, basically,
they essentially created their own super league to some degree with those restrictions.
Oh,
right?
I didn't know that.
When you put it like that, that's basically what they did. They said, the haves and the have-nots, right? And you need to have, and the only way you can have is if you can survive. But I mean, Leeds showed that if you have a side of the ball that you can lean on, right? When they first came up, I think that your attack and the way you were set up there would surprise some teams. until they figured it out a little bit, and that's how you're able to. I mean, that first game you had, everybody's like, "Wow, what it was against Liverpool, right?" Liverpool had, and you're like,
Yeah.
and they used that throughout the whole season, for me, anyways, to at least get something over on the Premier League teams who may have struggled a little defensively. And yes, they might have lost some games 4-3, but they actually did get some wins because of that same style of play.
We finished 9th that year, but it was also the pandemic when there's behind closed doors and all that, and I'm sure that had an effect.
The thing is,
yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're a Leeds fan, you're thinking, all right,
why do you let these people
who are
in
the
here?
teams that are
Ronnie's
like
not
12 through
authorized.
17 that are gettable?
Sorry, say again.
If you're a Leeds fan going up, you're looking at, all right, who's kind of like 12 through 17? Who's the team that we can hop? And 2 of them were just in a Europa League final, and you're not expecting them to be that bad anymore.
Yeah. And then you look at West
everyone
Ham,
else there is.
and West Ham are a big club, and they won a European trophy just a couple of years ago. And Wolves, okay, they had a shit season by their standards, but they came good in
had
the
a
end.
great 2 months.
Everton will. I think that Everton will have a bit of a springboard. I mean, they're having a real clear out and everything, so I expect
They've
them
had
to
a
do
great
quite
bounce
well.
back. Them and the Wolves had a great bounce
You
back.
almost have to hope like Palace.
I think a big team's going to get relegated next year.
You have to hope Palace and Bournemouth
Who's that, David?
go elsewhere just because they're so. Everyone wants Glasner, or everyone wants
It's on the part I ain't invited to.
Iriola.
Yeah. You know what's scary about?
I think a big team is going to get relegated. An established Premier side next year will get relegated. That's what I think. I think Leeds would be enough to stay up. I hope.
Yeah, it could happen.
I think Everton is going to get relegated next year.
Really?
They're going to lose far too many players. They're going to lose Beto. They're going to lose Decore. They're going to lose who's their striker?
Beto. Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's a free agent. And if I'm Leeds, I'm looking
to take it.
I'm looking at Calvert-Lewin.
But look
how
he never
that
plays.
guy spends more time on the sideline.
He never plays.
Hurt all the time. Way too much hurt. Hurt way too much.
I don't know.
I would if I'm Leeds.
I wouldn't spend $1 on him.
Can I talk for 1 second about your team, sir? This last few months of Wolves is what I expected from them from the beginning of the season. Mark, I remember telling you, I think you guys are going to be good this season. I feel
great.
There's some really good players there, and you guys started with like okay, and then shit stopped working, and then didn't you change managers? Or no, that was
obviously we changed managers.
You changed managers, but the team didn't change all that much, and the way you guys have been playing for the past 2 months is how I thought you guys would have been playing most of the season. So, and you went from 17th place to now what, 13th, 12th?
We're not quite that high on the table, but
14th?
All things said,
14th.
we may finish
14th.
better than finish better than Spurs. All we have to do is beat Brentford.
You'll finish 14th if you win.
If we win, which is I think we're on the beach.
And
but
if you draw,
here's the thing.
you probably. But what I'm saying is, can you imagine? Can you imagine if Wolves had played that way all season? Where would you be? I mean, because that's only say you won 5 more games. That's 15 more points. You're up in the top 10.
That's a mighty big if.
I think
the way
you guys are playing, you guys are playing phenomenal.
Even more in trouble than we were this season. I do think with look, I look at the championship I see Leeds being a quality team with all that money behind them. I see Burnley being a quality team with all that money behind them. The ownership of Wolves have proven that they're not interested in spending. We're going to lose Nelson Semedo. We're going to lose Cunha. There's a possibility that Ait Niori goes to Liverpool.
Can you guys get Strand Larson permanent?
I think we keep him. I think we buy him from Vigo because I think think that there's like the clause where if you play him for so many games and that or so many minutes that he is that you have to sign him. I love that.
Vigo are like 7th, man.
And I've never been a believer. I've been 2 years a non-believer of Jose Sa. I think next year we're going to be in trouble.
Ryan G says that you're confirmed, Mark.
There is absolutely sure. I also believe that there is absolutely no guarantee that Pereira stays with us next season. I think Wolves is a stepping stone for him, and he's gonna sign on with another Premier League team. I really
like who?
I really do.
I think there's going to be openings.
Hey, your manager.
I think Areola and Glasner and who's the guy at Fulham?
John Malkovich.
No,
the guy used to coach Watford and Everton.
It's Aranola or something like that.
Like I think you're going to see people poach those. Like Glasner, I think is going to go to Germany.
Yep.
With the opening at Leverkusen or.
I also think the teams that think are going to do better might struggle as well because the team that just won the Europa League, there are players on that team that supposedly might be leaving as well. So
what team?
That team.
What team?
Speaking of leaving, it's 4:30 here. Yeah. I'm going to sleep.
Oh Jesus.
Love you, John.
Take care. Take care.
You guys can fucking just. You guys were just yapping and yapping and yapping.
I have to listen to this shit. I have to sit here and listen to this shit.
We'll have some tweak.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, see you.
Exactly.
Have a good night,
John. Take care, bud.
No, like I was saying, that team could also lose players, and also by playing in the Champions League, they don't right now have a squad that can handle the Champions League along with the Premier League as it is. So and they might have some players there that might be looking out the door as well to move on as well. I've heard some of the big players there could want to move on, and Son's only he's not getting younger for sure.
Nobody's skinny his son. That's a problem to Spuds. They're weak. Spuds, they got lucky.
Son
Own goal, victory trophy, baby. I love it.
Any Champions League side can attract the top players, That's the thing. Obviously, the more established Champions League side can attract the very top. But Spurs will be able to attract some very good players. It's all whether the owners want to spend the money,
they've always been able to get players out of clubs like Ajax or what. Like it's a stepping stone.
But they need to go a little bit more if they're gonna sustain the next season.
The thing is, they don't have to because they finished so low. No one's expecting them to finish top 4, but if they finish top 7, that's which I would bet Spurs are going to finish top 7 next year.
Yo, Chris, my biggest fear. And I just got to say big up to Ronnie, who's in here, and Daniel 90.
Ryan, that's on board. Ryan's
Yo,
a good guy.
I know you guys are Ryan G as well, but Ronnie and Daniel, I know you guys are Tottenham fans. So
I like that.
Let me just say congratulations on your trophy. You won a trophy. Congratulations. Enjoy this. That's it.
They won the NIT.
Sorry, I just
Just being real. Just being real. It's a real show, right?
I would say Europa Conference is more NIT.
Yeah, that's fair.
But hey, I didn't say it. I said congratulations to you guys. So congratulations. And I know I don't know what else I was gonna say at that point. Now I forgot what we were talking about. So good. Guys, it is now well over the end of the show time, and we've had a ton of extra time.
Sure tonight.
So we're gonna head on out, but we threw that link in there if you guys want to join us backstage. I'm not sure how long anybody is staying backstage.
10
but
minutes.
we will be there 5-10 minutes. So if you want to join us backstage, you can join us for a little bit as we let our hair down. Just click on that link. Otherwise, guys, it has been fantastic talking to you. We didn't even take a bio break or anything.
David, Mark, you need some of this.
Yeah, Lawrence is blessed with some hair.
Hey, Lawrence is the only one on the show with hair. All right. So from we love you guys. Thank you guys for
Gary
joining
might
us.
have underneath this snuggie. He might have some hair.
Please.
No.
What's going on, football fans? It's your boy Lolo. Want to kick it.
Murderers, robbers, rapists, dealers, pedophiles.
Welcome to the revolution!
Justice isn't commerce.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Just stop it!
Who the hell is without a helper, and what does she have to do with my sister?
Do I look like I need a psychological evaluation?
That's not the issue. The issue is why you didn't tell me.
I recommend that he be given a psychological evaluation before taking over his next assignment.
Just like old times, huh? You godless son of a bitch! Come in the eyes. May I have a little kiss before you go? I'm very lonely here. Oh, we're being lied to. I don't like secrets. I could report you to the authorities, have your goddamn license suspended.
Smoking cigars now. And I thought he was perfect.
Would you give your life to save the world if nobody knew you did it? Boy, you're a cocky one.
You got a great point there. And a sign that says, "No snakes allowed."